We're gonna marry you.
Yeah. Okay, now we're live. They can hear us. And they, I mean, that's it. That's what.
Main character energy come out so much that I was the main character in this intro.
Oh no, that was just like I don't know. It was just like a silly way of doing it because so I used the templates that are just in iMovie, and the one that was in there was a story, a fairy tale about a princess, and I was like, well, Jareth has the prettiest hair, so this one should be him. But I've been rotating who's the main character in each of them. So Garrison was the one for a while. I was one for a while. Yeah.
I've used iMovie stuff before too.
I love the templates. Yeah, no, they're great. I haven't done Gretchen, Nazoth, or I think I did Bimothy once, but it wasn't super clear that it was for Bimothy, so I might do Bimothy again. But I have
to do it again.
Yeah, that was that was a fun one to make.
Because right now, Jarrett's has got like main character syndrome, and like, what do we do with that?
Is Jareth gonna die today?
Dun dun dun.
You got main character syndrome. You can't die.
I just want to say, like, out of character for the record, if you ever feel like I'm main charactering too much, shut me down, please.
Okay, you haven't. We've been playing for like what, 2 years now.
I've met people with main character syndrome. You don't have it.
Yeah, you're good, buddy.
Thank God. Thank God.
But you can
trust get a little eager sometimes, but you're not main character syndrome. I promise you.
Eager, a little earnest, but you're good.
I try to pull back once I feel the way.
Yeah, if anyone's got that energy, it's me right here.
I don't think anybody's really got it in this group. And
I've only been playing D&D for we're like 2.5 years, and it's been mostly the same group. So, yeah. Yeah,
this is a pretty good group. This is like, as far as like D&D goes, you're getting a good, like, you got lucky because everybody here role plays. They role play with each other. And
we all show up.
Yeah, you all show up. For the most part. And you're invested. And I think I said this way early on, way back in the Witchlight days, for Fern, is that you're doing all the stuff that new players typically do, which is like, oh, I want to see what that is, and you're like the curious cat, and sometimes that can almost kill you. But that's like, you got to do that as a player. You got to explore. That's the way you play this game. Is you're like the halfling in the Lord of the Rings throwing something down the well. We're just talking about that in another game. It's always somebody that's doing that. Like, what's in there? And they toss something in, and then like the troll comes out and tries to eat everybody.
And honestly, every group needs one of those, otherwise nothing would get done.
Yeah, it's like an instigator type of thing. So we're all trying to explain this to Fern, and he's just popping in and out. Okay. He's hearing nothing.
It did that thing where I go, and then I lost it completely. So all I heard was early in Witchlight.
So what I was just saying is that, like, early on in Witchlight, you were doing exactly what you're supposed to do as a new player, which is explore, get yourself in trouble, and not be afraid of dying. Like, there's a lot of people that, like, they're way careful with their characters to the point where they get, like, paralyzation, and they don't do anything. And, like, then the story doesn't go anywhere because they're afraid if they turn right, they're going to get killed by a trap, and they turn left, they're going to get eaten by a troll or something like that. And part of D&D is that sometimes you get eaten by the troll or you fall in the trap. And every once in a while, maybe you die. And you can always hope that it's like a glorious and memorable death.
So
we haven't really had any of those in these games.
Stuff like that?
What's that?
Is it okay that I'm still doing stuff like that in our campaign?
If you didn't, I think
Ryan.
Everybody worries about your character dying. As long as you don't get upset if you die, then
I want to go out in the adventure. I want to explore stuff.
Right.
I'm not being cautious.
Also,
you might want to be a little more cautious if you care about your character, but
also,
I'm not going to tell you to do that.
Hugs.
And as far as characters are concerned, As far as characters are concerned, like I'm not one of those guys that like, oh, my character's died, I got to burn my character sheet. I just save it for another campaign for another. This character's not gone forever. I just bring him up again later somewhere else.
That's the benefit of playing with a bunch of different like groups.
He's just removed from this campaign.
When I was playing D&D way back in the day with my group of friends, we all played we had a pretty big group. There was like 10 or 12 of us, and there was always like two or three different games going on like every weekend. But one of my friends would run games, and he was just cutthroat. He's one of those GMs that would like to kill your character. Like he's very much like GM versus PC. And he was the kind of guy who, if like he's like, all right, if your character dies here, we're gonna burn your character sheet.
No.
Yeah, there are people out there like that. Yeah.
But it was different because we were like kind of competitive with each other. It was kind of a joke, and he had run like a ton of games at the time. But he did that to like one of our friends. Like his character died, and he took him into the bathroom and burned his character sheet, and threw him in the toilet, and flushed it. I was laughing the whole time. But all of us, like, we didn't really care too much because they're like one-off games is mostly what we played, and not like in the big campaign games. There was always kind of like sometimes a way to come back, or you just you buried the guy and took his stuff, checked his pockets for loose change. It's kind of funny though, because I got him back one day. He tried to pull that on me with one of my characters, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna burn your character if he dies here." And I'm like, all right. Well, if my character dies, that's fine. But if I kill this NPC, which I know you've made a character sheet for because he was kind of obsessive, we're going to burn that guy's character sheet. He's like, that's not going to happen. And then I rolled like a double crit on the first round and a charge and like killed him in like 2 shots. And he was like, what?
Oh, no.
And I'm like, get out your lighter.
So is he one of those guys where 20 is always success and 1 is always fail, regardless of what the total is?
Well, we weren't even playing D&D. We were playing Palladium, which is sort of like D&D adjacent. Still like a D20 game, and this is like 20 years ago too. But the character had like this ability to like do like a flying kick and do like triple damage or some ridiculous thing. And like if you rolled like a natural 20, it would like double that. So he did like 6 times. I rolled like on the first round, I just got stupid lucky and rolled a crit and did like times 6 damage. And just like murdered his NPC, who he'd been like kind of chasing me with for a while. But that doesn't always happen. Like I don't normally have that good of luck with characters. It just so happened in that one game against him where he was like kind of like, I'm gonna get you.
Wait, is Palladium Rifts or is it related to Rifts?
Rifts is part of Palladium.
Okay.
But there was
that he escapes in the cutscene bullshit.
There was Palladium had a fantasy version too.
Okay.
That was like D&D, and then Rifts came afterwards. Actually, Rifts came later.
Okay.
But it's the same system. Just
Gotcha.
they just upped it with like different technology and stuff for Rifts. Rifts was supposed to bring together a lot of different worlds that they had.
Rifts was kind of crazy.
Yeah, Rifts is really crazy. Palladium had done I think it was Palladium had done like a Robotech game.
Was that supposed to be like their sigil?
Not really. It was just a world that was all messed up. The whole world had like it was like a post-apocalyptic world with portals that went everywhere. I'm trying to remember if the role-playing game was... Yeah, it was Palladium Books, 1986.
Wow.
They had great art for it too. Played that a few times, played Rifts. We played all sorts of things, mostly D&D, but we played a lot of other different games too. Had a lot of fun in a lot of different games. And a few homebrewed games that my friends have made up too, like just completely made up their own rules. Lots of fun. But here we go. D&D 5e, playing an old school adventure with Curse of Strahd. Wow. You guys ready now? Should we get into this?
I think so.
You all done BS?
I hope so.
All righty. Then let's come through the mists of Barovia. Come down through them and settle into the evening dimly lit streets of Vallaki, in front of St. Andrew's Church, where a group of locals have begun gathering in a sort of impromptu pre-festival festival, thanks to a large barrel of wine provided by you guys, as stolen from Watcher House the night before. We've got.
We're not mentioning that part.
What's that?
We're not mentioning that part.
No, you're not mentioning that part. But there were in the crowd, as you do remember, 2 Watcher boys who were talking to Isaac Strozzi, trying to get his attention, pointing at you guys like you were up to something. But he had no interest in listening to whatever this guy was telling him. At one point, turned and threatened him, and then the boys left, leaving you to celebrate again. Kind of pulling, like, I guess, one over on the Watchers twice. This is also this is just as I think it was, who was it? It was Gretchen, Jareth, and was it Nazoth?
Yep.
And Bimothy? Were they all 4 of you, I think, had gone to Watcher House, trying to meet with Lady Watcher. But you were sort of given the runaround by a guy there that was some sort of like assistant or servant or something of hers. And eventually he turned you away, said that she just wasn't feeling up to visiting with anyone. And so you guys have arrived here at this party kind of like already as it's kind of in full swing. And you're arriving here right around the same time as a small group of Vistani who have arrived through the front gate, have come to sort of see what's going on as well. This is where we find ourselves. We've got Riles kind of like up in the front, like cheering the folks on. Same thing with Garrison. What do you guys do? What are your plans now? Somebody had said that they wanted to talk to this Vistani about this card you guys had pulled. Was there anything else?
No.
Who wanted to talk to them about the card?
I definitely do.
All right. So then do you approach them, and is anybody else with you?
I'm leading the line dancing, so
Oh, that's right, line dancing. And I think Garrison is kind of tied up in that as well.
Can I keep an eye on Jareth, though, and the Vistani?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you see them. You saw the Vistani arrive. You can't miss Jareth.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see them kind of across the street as the Vistani have arrived, where the keg is set up, and have started filling up mugs of their own, kind of staying a little bit to themselves, kind of gathered. They look a little bit. The last time you guys had met the Vistani, they were at this camp, and they were kind of having their own little like evening celebration, telling stories. They seemed kind of jovial and carefree in this land, where everybody else is a little bit dark and paranoid. These ones, they don't look like the same ones you had met at the camp. They seem a little bit dour, and Jareth, as you approach, they kind of give you like a little bit of a suspicious look. But they don't say anything just yet. Like, they don't really greet you other than like maybe a curt nod. What do you say to them?
Good evening. Would you be willing to help? Need some information about this card that I had pulled. Madam Eva had showed us some cards before, so I'm hoping the Vistani people might be able to explain this card.
Do you pull it out and show it to them?
Mm-hmm.
So you're holding up this
Shepherd.
Yeah, the Shepherd card from the deck, and they kind of glance at it and you, and one of them says, "Was that card given to you by Madame Eva, or do you have a deck?"
This is my deck.
Your own deck? Not many outsiders have them. I am not so much of a reader of the decks. You would want someone that has the talent. And they kind of look at each other, and one of them says, "There was only one camp who was any good at it, but she is missing."
Oh, who's that?
They kind of look at each other again, like they don't quite want to trust you. Give me a persuasion check.
First roll.
These guys are not like open and friendly, kind of like the other ones were.
19.
All right. One of them kind of like steps forward a little bit and says, she is young. Her name is Arabelle. Do not suppose that you have seen young Vistani lass here in the city. We know that sometimes she comes here, and we've come looking to see if maybe perhaps she's wandered off again.
No, the only Vistani me and my friends have seen were Madame Eva's group, who we had, I had fun dancing with before they had packed up and left.
You are outsiders,
Yes.
not from these lands.
No.
Is this your doing? They gesture to the barrel of wine and kind of around to the party.
Sometimes some of my friends, they get ahead of themselves. So, enjoy. Come join us. Maybe
They seem to consider it, but they say we have business of our own. We heard the noise, thought that we would come and look, and you can see them kind of looking, some of them looking around the crowd. But our chief, the two of them, they kind of one of them says this in such a way like you're never sure what he means, but like there's an odd sort of tone to his voice when he talks about their chief. We need to find this girl. We need to find Arabelle. If you know anyone that has seen her, she is, and he kind of raises a hand, about like a little over 5 and about 5.5 feet tall, dark hair, wears little bells on her sleeves. Sometimes she has a doll that she is quite fond of, purchased from this town.
Ah, well, okay. If we do find her, how can we find you to reunite you?
Well, you can, if you find her, bring her to the camp. It's just outside the gates. There's a side path that will take you right there. Can't miss it. It's in the forest, just to the south of the old Svalix Road.
Just wondering, that doll. Can you describe the doll? Might be something to track her down.
He looks at one of the other guys. Wow, what was the name of the guy that's made it? And one of the other one says Blinsky. It's a Blinsky doll. It is missing one eye, and a little bit worn. It is looks like a little girl, but it is maybe about. He kind of holds his hands about a foot apart, about this tall.
Excellent. Well,
She has had it since she was a child. Never goes anywhere without it.
exactly what I'm thinking, Garrison. All right. If we find her, we'll bring her back to camp.
Thank you. You do this, and we will owe you a favor. She is very important. She is Chief's daughter.
Absolutely.
He takes another sort of look at the card that you've got before kind of turning to his friends, and they don't stick around for the party. They move off kind of into town, and it looks like they're kind of just like looking in the streets and continuing on their hunt.
All right. I guess we're gonna join the other guys.
Right. Brian, you had said that you had. I saw that text that you had said that you wanted to try to be welcoming to them. They don't really seem interested in staying. Was there anything that you wanted to try to get from them, or what?
I didn't have any real specific purpose. It was more the fact like they were welcoming to us when we found them in the woods. And is it a little perplexing that they're not interested in staying for a party? Like, isn't what we know of these people mostly like a passionate people that enjoy things like this, you know?
Yeah, but they said that they're here looking for this girl who's gone missing, so that must be a big deal to them.
Right. Well, maybe we could convince them that if the party's cool, maybe she'd come and check it out. So, like, stay here with us and hang, or like, You know, like that would be Garrison's purpose. It's just kind of opening the same doors and welcome that they welcome to us. So that's.
You mentioned that you know, that when you met with them, you know, with Madame Eva, that she was welcoming and that you're just returning the favor?
Or not, I mean, not as in like, oh, I'm just doing it because she did, but more or less like, hey, the Vistani people have only been nice to us outsiders. You know, this place right now is having a celebration of trying to bring light to the community and being welcoming. So, like, your people, of course, are welcome here, and if we can help you, and then obviously finding out about the daughter, it just gives us more of a reason to work together, you know?
Right. They don't seem especially friendly to you. I should say that. Like, they've stopped at this party just because it's kind of like really close to the gate in the front of town. But they were keeping to themselves, and they only really talked to Jareth because he, you know, approached them, maybe just said the right things with that persuasion check. You want me to roll like a persuasion for Garrison, see if like there's any sort of to see how he does individually?
I mean, he doesn't have much insight or persuasion, you know, so I just think he was just more like, hey, you know, welcome to the party. There's wine until it runs out. You know, a lady like you was really nice to me, so we'll be nice back, you know, and just if they wanted to stay cool, but if they're giving us the cold shoulder, you know, like.
Yeah, they're giving you the cold shoulder because they've been tasked with something that must be more important than partying, unless these Vistani are different from the ones that were with Madame Eva. You've heard that, like, when you talk to Madame Eva and when you met with other Vistani, they don't really stick around one place very often. At least that's the ones that you guys had, you know, their camp picked up and left, like, as soon as you guys are done with them. But you've heard that there is, like, a permanent encampment that's just south of Valaki. This is where these guys are from. Maybe there's something different about them, too. They're still Vistani. They still look like the ones you've met, but, and it could just be that they're distracted by this search for, you know, the chief's daughter, or maybe they're just jerks. You won't know unless maybe you could, you know, unless you go to their camp, you won't really know because you're seeing them outside of their element too.
Yeah, well, that and maybe like everyone else is kind of sad and downtrodden around here. Maybe something has like gotten to their spirits in the camp, you know. So like they might be serious and stoic, just the way like Izzy is and all those other guys, because that's like status quo now. Yeah, so I mean, I would let them carry on. I just felt like, as when they were coming to the gate, if Garrison did see them, I would want to be welcoming just because of how they were for us, you know.
Right. So you're welcoming to them, but then you get like this weird cold shoulder. So take that as you will. But Jareth did learn a few things from them, and I think as he steps away, and the two of you, I think, have this moment where you say, "There's a toy shop in town." You guys saw it like the day before when you were, or earlier in the day, I think, when you guys were kind of walking around town. And you know that it's called Blinsky's Toys.
Yeah, me and Nazoth saw it.
I say we go there. That's where she's going to be. Or at least a clue will be there.
Yeah, if she's obsessed with a toy that was made from there and like that's her thing, maybe she's like window shopping, you know, on like Fifth Avenue in the city. You know?
Maybe. So do you guys stick around your party for a little bit, or do you gather some folks and go check this out?
We try to finish the keg. We make a competition. We split the group in half, and we have chugging contests. And whatever team drinks the most wins, and that's the end of the competition.
All right.
And while you guys are doing that, I'm going to check out the toy shop.
Is there anybody that's not drinking or playing?
I'm not drinking.
I'm not.
I'm not drinking.
Timothy's not.
Timothy's not? All right, so how drunk are Riles and Garrison then?
Pretty.
Like,
Riles is pretty.
drunk? All right.
How much
Riles doesn't want to be too hungover tomorrow, so maybe he's teetering, and he's an entertainer, so he's around people who drink a lot, so he probably knows how to hold his own, but he's probably at
Roll
like a
for
7,
sobriety.
8. Yeah.
Yeah, roll a Constitution saving throw.
All right, that's what
And
we'll
if
do.
Garrison is trying to like get people drunk and get himself drunk, and like with drinking challenges, he is going to be drunk. I don't think this is,
Yeah. 100%. Garrison was like, you know, we got to finish the keg before we can leave. So he's trying to get as many people to help him finish this keg as fast as possible so we can go solve this Vistani problem. But he doesn't feel good about leaving the keg not drank, you know? So there's like a worst case scenario. He's going to put it on top of his head with like a hose into his mouth, like one of those bucket hats.
The
But he's
garrison,
hoping.
it'll still be good tomorrow.
No, we're going streaking through the quad.
Garrison is trashed. Riles, you say you were trying to like pace yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not drunk, but you may be a tiny bit buzzed. Garrison is 3 sheets to the wind, though. And as you guys start gathering up, does Riles go with Nazoth and the others to check this thing out, or does he stay to babysit Garrison until he's done?
Stays to babysit Garrison.
Right.
Yeah.
So Garrison isn't
I
staying
stay
very long.
here.
He's just staying long enough to get trashed, and eventually he's going to stumble out of the party and try to find the rest of the group.
Oh my God.
So Riles will stay near.
So again, it's the Riles and Garrison show, while everybody else goes off to Blinsky's toys. Right?
Right.
Yep.
I think
Sounds
so.
about
All
right.
right. Blinsky's toys is over here. I'm going to focus ping on the map. Ding. All right, there. It's that little orange building. It is it is evening time, I think, but when you guys did this, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it like it was evening. You guys are started. So let's see. Blinsky's toys seems to be closed. The cramped shop, the entrance is dark. You can see the sign above. You know you're in the right place. So this little rocking horse with a B engraved on both sides. There are a couple of lead framed windows that flank the doors. And through the dirty glass, you can see displays of toys and hanging placards. And you can see the slogan right in the front window that says, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky." But the lights are off down below, and it seems as if Blinsky has closed up for the day. You do see, however, a light in the window upstairs.
Surprised this place is still in business if all the no Blinsky stuff is no fun.
No, it means that Blinsky things are only fun, I think.
Yeah, I think it's.
Not
Oh no, it's like
fun. It's not fun.
if it's not the Blinsky, it's not fun.
It's no Blinsky, right? And if it's no fun, it's no Blinsky. Therefore, it's no fun.
If it's no
That's what-
fun, it's not a Blinsky.
Well, then
Right?
he should put that.
Oh,
I
the
think that's the
hurting.
intention.
My head.
All right, so you guys are
Whatever, I'm going
discussing
in.
stuff in the front.
but they
You go, you
closed.
grab the door, and it
Never stopped
doesn't
me
open.
before.
Nazoth, the door seems to be locked. You pull on it, push on it, does not open.
I suppose we'll just have to come back in the
I
morning.
knock on it. Candygram.
Nazoth is not waiting. You knock, you yell out, and a minute later, you can hear kind of a shuffling from inside. Hold on, one moment. And then you hear like another little shuffling, and then a shape, like a little shadow, kind of comes to the window right next to the door and looks out. He's this big guy that is wearing what looks to be like a jester's hat of like blue and green. And he's looking at you like he just put this thing on. It's a little bit kind of off kilter on the top of his head. He's like, "Yes, who is it? What do you want?"
We're looking for a little girl who may have bought a doll here. And not to eat.
No, girls are here.
Did you sell a doll to a little girl today? Or any
No,
other day?
no selling it today. No, but a little girl did come by. A little Vistani girl.
Oh,
You don't look Vistani though.
I thank you for that compliment, but
No, you look sort of like you're sick.
hands off.
Are you well?
He's fine.
You sure you don't have the plague?
It's just his constitution.
Oh, yes, his constitution must not to be so good. Yeah, he could use a little bit of help with the Riz, too, I think.
I meant constitution in the normal sense, not the gaming sense.
All right, you Swedish meatball, you're starting to get on my nerves here.
You see, like as he's talking to you, suddenly there's another little face in the window. It's much smaller than his, and it takes you a brief second to realize it's not a toy that maybe he's holding up, but a little monkey with like a sort of like a white sort of face and like a brown sort of like chin, and it's looking at you kind of like through the glass, and it's kind of like hanging on the side of his shoulder.
Oh.
I'll put a picture over in Discord for you because there's a picture of this guy.
Can you tell us which way the little girl went, and then you can go back to IKEA or wherever the hell you came from?
I don't know. She wanted her doll fixed. The eyeball had fallen out. She said that maybe she go like a walk by the river or something. I don't know.
Did you not fix it?
Oh, I did. Yes, I did. Very easy, just a little button.
Well, all right, by the river it is then.
You folk look like outsiders. Where are you from? Why are you looking for this little girl?
I'm not an outsider. I own a windmill.
You own a what?
A windmill. A haunted windmill.
I wouldn't mention that around people. They always get scared.
On a haunted windmill? I do not know. Oh, are you talking about the old bone grinder?
See?
Okay, so I own a bone meal. Same difference.
Oh, you must be. All right, you have a good day then. Goodbye. He starts kind of like moving away from the window.
Us to the river.
He's his face is already gone, but a chubby hand comes out and kind of points to the north.
I don't think owning that building does you any favors.
I've got to advertise the future site of Exhaust We Cheatham and Howe Strip Club.
Oh,
Don't worry, I'll put advertisements up in the embassy. We'll get you traffic.
what? Okay, let's just keep going.
All right, to the river. See if someone's in a van down by the river.
Also, is it just me, or does every time I talk about this windmill, it just becomes better and better?
Better and better. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, now I find out it's a bone meal. I won the
The
jackpot.
place is haunted and cursed.
Stop! I can only get so erect.
Exactly. You already have a windmill.
That's what I wonder about you sometimes.
Right. To the river.
All right. So while you guys have been chatting here with Blinsky, we can say that maybe Garrison has done his duty with the booze, and maybe he is stumbling down the street with Royals kind of leading the way. So
He's
you
the
meet up with those
Blinsky.
two.
I get knocked down, but I get up again, and then I can't get down.
You tell him, baby. You tell him.
I get knocked down.
Yeah.
I get knocked down again. Why do you keep knocking me down?
It's never a night away. Rouse, where are we going?
I don't even know anymore.
All right. You want to go
Don't
see the
drink this route.
cultists? Should we see the cultists?
I don't think you should say that out loud.
Lady Watcher.
Yeah, let it out, buddy. Let it out.
Will you carry me home?
Yeah. Here, hop in my hands.
I wish I had hands.
I wish that for you too, buddy.
You know, my mom left when I was young.
She took your hands?
No, she
Oh.
took my heart.
Oh,
So
let's get a
he's
drink.
He's in a drunk pool and maybe of his own vomit until you need him for something.
Garrison, you can take the sickened condition,
Oh.
or poison condition would be it. I think they call it poisoned. They have sickened in Pathfinder. I always get it mixed up.
Can you take care of that with your lay on hands?
I don't know. Can I?
I
can
don't
get rid
have
of my own.
hands.
Get rid of my own hangover.
You're gonna be
Right now,
blinded
you're
by
super
flame?
drunk and having a great time.
Sorry,
How would
lay
you get
on
rid of
stuff.
that? Maybe in the morning, huh?
He's a little sad.
Why am I not surprised 5e doesn't distinguish between sick and poison?
It's the same.
I think acid and
There is no
poison are kind
second.
of the
It's
same
just
too.
there is no second. I think there's just poison. I don't think there's a second condition.
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Kinda like-
I
It's
mean,
the same thing.
It depends on what you're
Poison is
drinking. You could be blinded and paralyzed from drinking it.
Yeah, you can just stack
If
conditions.
it's some
But
good
sickened
mood,
itself
bad.
was a condition before.
Yeah, well, it wasn't. Yeah, in 3.0, 3.5.
Yeah.
They had a lot of different conditions. They didn't really have a poison condition. I don't think in the old one. You just
Mm-mm.
poison did different things. It would like
It
damage
would
your
do con
stats.
damage or stuff. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, it would reduce your ability scores.
But ability damage was way more prevalent and so terrible.
Yes, it was.
Enervating.
It's almost like getting knocked unconscious in this game.
Oh, and losing levels when you had to like use a low level resurrection spell. That was great.
All right, I'm going to bring you guys out real quick to just to the Barovia map, because you guys head out the north gate of Vallaki, because the town itself is maybe a mile or so from the actual shores. At least I think it is. Let me check when these things is. A quarter mile. And it looks like the gate is right like here. So it's about, a quarter mile or so to the shores of Lake Zarovich, which sits at the foot of this giant mountain, kind of nestled in the misty forest. The water is perfectly still and dark and reflects the black clouds and mist that's overhead. When you get to the shore, you find pulled up along the shore, are a bunch of small rowboats. And some bigger fishing boats as well. But the smaller rowboats are all kind of like closer to you from where you are. And a couple of larger fishing boats are off to the side. And you can see that there is another boat, another small rowboat that is out in the middle of the lake with a lone figure sitting in it with a fishing pole in hand, just like the mists kind of like surrounding him and hovering along the top of the lake. And there's just like this sort of dark silhouette out there on the sort of stillness of the lake, sitting all by himself. Give me a well, let's get a perception check. I think that's the best thing.
Ooh,
Perception.
I see everything.
I see nothing.
I also see nothing.
I see nothing. I hear nothing.
All righty, some good perception checks here from some people.
There's 8 fishermen out there. What are they all doing?
There's water. What? Wait, where's the water?
Some of you are looking in the total wrong direction. But Jareth and Gretchen, you're looking for this girl. You're not really, overly concerned with this guy out in the water, but maybe some of the others are. And you're kind of looking like along the shore. You're looking for any sort of evidence of like somebody having come and gone this way recently. And you find over in the sand, kind of near the small rowboats, you find a couple of pairs of footsteps, one larger pair and one smaller pair. And they seem to have gone to a spot in the sand where there is a disturbance, as if maybe there was another rowboat here, which has been pulled out into the lake. And then you look up and you see that there's that one guy out there. But you don't see like the smaller footsteps that were with this guy. You don't see them leave the area. It seems as if they came to the boat and then didn't go back. But you only see that one guy out there with the fishing pole.
Interesting.
This was Jareth and Gretchen both noticed this.
Okay. I'll relay that to the party.
What if he's using the smaller one as bait? Like he's using a gnome or something tied to a rock.
Maybe the child's just asleep.
Oh, you think the child's in that boat?
I don't know. The footprints are there.
That's why I thought he was gnome fishing. Should we yell out to him? Maybe he knows where the kid is. All right.
Or we start an encounter. Either way, it's something to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Fishman.
His boat's about 400 feet or so from the shore, and you're
All right,
calling
that's
out to him, and he
can't hear
doesn't seem to be responding. You think that he should be able to hear you from about 400 feet away. That's about a little over a football field. Like if you're yelling from one side to the other, you think, especially like with the lake and nothing in the way. But he doesn't make any motion as if he heard you.
Maybe we should throw out to him and check. He doesn't seem well.
I love it. All right, I'll row. Get in, everybody.
All right.
How are you gonna row?
Why don't you let us row?
Who? What do you mean?
Doesn't rowing require the use of hands?
You can use your elbows.
Mr. High and Mighty, find you row.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, let him row. I want to see this.
I just imagine him just dipping his hands in the water, just kind of paddling with his forearm.
Wait, who? Oh, you're talking about
Garrison.
Garrison doesn't have hands.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Is
could
he
leverage it in your elbow and still get some kind of motion going.
well, he certainly couldn't hold any oars. That's for sure.
All right, so
Or
do you enjoy Garrison's awkward attempt at rowing for a little while, or do you get this done?
We do just get it done.
And who's going? The boats. Let's see. Each of these rowboats can hold probably safely about 6 people, which is you guys are maybe a little crowded in, but you've got at least one person that's small, so you can do it.
Can we tie another rowboat behind ours just in case we need to bring a 7th person back?
Sure.
Nice.
Takes you a little more time to do so, though. You guys have to
Garrison
drag these
lays
both into the
down
water,
the
and
back of the boat.
as you're kind of futzing around with these and pulling the boat into the water, eventually you guys start rowing, and I mean, it doesn't take you long to realize that Garrison's not going to get you going anywhere. Like he's trying to fumble with an oar, and he's got no hands, and like maybe probably barfs over the edge once or twice before someone, I'm assuming, takes command and starts rowing.
Can a few of us go in a different boat?
Sure. There are like 3 other rowboats here. So, and right now you have 2 that you have kind of tied one to the other.
Well, do we need to tie the other one to it if someone else is rowing it?
Fine, you want to take your own boat?
Well, no, I'm just saying we can.
I'm not
so it's
allowed to row.
If we're already taking 2 boats, we might as well split up just so we're not so crowded. You know what I mean? We're going to the same spot.
All right, I'll lay in the other boat. You guys stay here. And Garrison goes and lays down in the boat that we're towing.
I'm also
Alright.
doing that.
Well, I'll take over rowing it and untie it then, and he can lay down.
All right. So how many boats are you taking now? One dragging another, or one dragging another, and then a second one that you guys are piloting?
I think
Just
Gareth
2.
is now piloting the second
Yeah,
boat.
I think
that we're
it's
gonna
me and Azoth and Bimothy in one, and then Jareth, Riles, and Garrison.
All right. So you guys futz around a little bit on the shore here, trying to figure out your boat situation. But eventually, you get 2 of them pulled into the water, and just as you're kicking off shore, and putting your oars in, you look ahead, and you see this silhouette again, this other boat with this fisherman, and you see that he has put his fishing pole down and is rummaging in the side of his, like in the back, the bottom of his boat. And a moment later, he heaves up, and there's like a burlap sack or something like that that he has pulled out, and he throws it over the edge of the boat, and it splashes into the water, and you guys hear like a muffled cry as it drops
fuck.
in.
my God.
All right,
Here's no
Eldritch Blast
fishing.
time.
What are you doing? Not you. You can do that.
As it vanishes quickly. It doesn't float. It drops into the water, and this cry is just muffled instantly. And there's just like this ripple around his boat. He looks down, and it doesn't even recognize like when you guys yell out at him. It looks down, it's just like the ripples for a moment, and then sits back in the boat and picks up that fishing pole and starts casting his line into the water again.
Right, I think we found the girl. Will one of you be saving her?
Yes, I'd like to jump in the water in wild shape into my crocodile form.
Crocodile form?
Yes, that'll
Is it a saltwater crocodile?
Maybe something
It's
with
the
arms.
the only other water thing I have that I've pre-made is a snake. So
Well, you can choose something else too. Like right now, there's no map for this that we need to have.
Pre-made.
just I don't think crocodiles are water creatures. Aren't they desert creatures?
Crocodile?
No,
Oh,
they're water.
They're water.
They
Yeah,
call them
water.
Alligators are desert.
Alligators are water. I mean,
Oh,
crocodiles and
also-
alligators are a little bit different.
I also have a reef shark.
That would be a lot faster, probably.
Yeah, we'll go with the reef shark.
Yeah,
All right.
crocodiles have fat noses, and crocodiles have skinny noses. That's the only big difference.
All right. So Jareth jumps in, wild shapes, and is gone. And you just see the fin just like zipping across the lake in the direction of the other boat. Hold on a second. Jareth, you are super fast, and there's nothing else like you just kind of zipping through the lake. You see like a couple of little fish, but not very much. And in this form, you are fast enough to get there, and you see this burlap sack kind of like surging around in the water and sinking quickly. Do you just swim right up and try to grab it with your teeth?
Yes, trying not to hit her with my teeth, just like that little part that's tied off. I try to grab.
All right. I think you can be careful enough with this to do so as you grab the top of the sack. Ooh, although shark teeth are a little bit sharp, aren't they?
Yes.
Give me a dexterity saving throw, just to see if you can be gentle enough not to like tear the sack.
Just bite her by the leg. She's got two. She'll be fine.
And I can do that from the reef shark. Yeah.
Yeah, use the reef shark.
Did that go?
Rolls a nat 1 and eats the girl.
I am not seeing anything.
I'd do that. I see a 13 dex
Put a little
save.
guy out there. I'm gonna pull the boat out just for fun.
Can you throw me up just so I can switch into the reef shark?
Sure. Hold on a second.
Oh, did you add them, the new ones?
I think that I did. I'll check in a second. I thought I did last week after the game. Hold on one second. Just putting this guy in there.
Isn't this the boat right here, or is that something else?
I mean, that's a boat, but I'm going to use this one.
That does look more like a boat.
And it's just representative of something that is here. One second. Let's put this to the back. There's a guy sitting in it, and we'll grab Jared's token. Just throw him on the map here for fun. I believe that the multi-sided is all... Well, I made one. It's not in there just yet. Hold on a second. Bring these in. One moment, and I grab it for you. Let's shrink this down a little bit, but there's your shark. Whoop. Move you guys all kind of out in the lake here. And we'll say that there's another boat that's got the rest of you in it. It's on the way. It's just leaving shore. Let's shrink these all down a little bit.
Oh, is this not my regular token?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Just temporary for right now. We're just using the
Okay.
boat to indicate where the rest of the party is. All right. You swim. Did you roll that dex check? Did it work out?
I
Let's
got
see. 13.
13.
13 is enough. You
Yay.
grab this sack in your teeth, being gentle about it, and pull it back towards the surface. It's pretty heavy, and you realize that it must have some sort of stones or something in it to weigh it down. But reef shark is pretty strong, and it's got a swim speed, and you drag this thing back up to the surface. However, all you do is have it in your teeth. You're going to need to like transform and like pull this sack apart or something like that because you can't really get it out of the water in the way that you are.
Can he free willy it onto one of our boats?
Ooh.
Your boat is pretty far back, and he's dragging it. And it is waterlogged, and it has been underwater now for maybe 30 seconds.
Am I strong enough to swim up to the edge of the boat with my mouth up for them to grab it out of my mouth?
Where the rest of the party is pretty far away, so I'm trying to say, and you're dragging this thing behind you.
Mhm.
There is the other boat where the fisherman is. You could maybe drag it up there, but you're probably going to have to change yourself. You're going to have to unwild shape in order to like use your hands to pull her up into the boat. You don't know
Also,
what this guy's going to do.
yeah, I was about to say, what's he? Surely he's noticed us by this point.
He must have, but he's not doing anything. He's just fishing.
Oh, this is creepy.
You might
Yeah,
not have enough time to drag her all the way back to the other boat. You could try, but she's been underwater a while. You have to make this decision quick, Fern.
Shit.
Do it.
Transform, get her out of there, and swim her back to shore while we deal with the guy.
Yeah, okay. I unwild shape, I become Jareth again, and I untie the bag and try to pull her out of the bag and then swim with her.
All right. So you rescue her. You're not worried about these boats or anything. You're a little bit to the side.
Mhm.
And that's not that hard to do. Now that you've got your arms, you untie this thing pretty easily. Once you've got the sack undone, this girl kind of bursts forth from it and gasps for breath, and is kind of flailing around the water. But you're able to kind of keep her safe for now. She's not going to drown at this point. The sack and whatever was in it just sinks out of sight quickly. All right. The other guy, but meanwhile, this guy in the other boat hasn't even looked. He's just casting his rod and watching a little thing bobbing in the water nearby. Everybody else in the other boat is frantically, I think, rowing towards the situation.
Yeah.
Do you head straight towards Fern and the girl?
Pick them up, yeah.
All right.
I'm standing on the front of the boat like George
Yeah,
Washington,
that
trying
way.
to look
Well,
important.
remember that we got two boats, so one of
You do
them
have two
can
boats.
in front and the other one can come get me.
Who is actually rowing the two boats?
Riles is rowing our boat. 'cause
Yeah.
Garrison's too
Yes,
drunk
'cause
to
I
listen to
jumped out.
pants.
I don't
So
know.
Garrison is yelling at Riles to row directly at the bad fisherman.
And
I'm assuming
Riles,
that
Row, you
Timothy
little
is rowing the other one.
Riles is probably
Yeah.
too buzzed and not caring enough that he's just like rowing on just one side, so just going in
Yeah,
circles.
Timothy's probably rolling the other one, but it's like it was very like scrawny looking, but he's somehow like just like a fucking machine just going at the
I'm standing on the bow like George Washington, just like row, Timothy, row.
Quick, we gotta see.
Timothy is pretty strong, right?
Yeah.
Timothy's on
He's
like
so
the Harvard
strong.
row team. This boat's like in the air as Timothy
It's
is rowing.
it's like it looks like
It's an
it looks like there's
aerofoil.
it looks like there's a motorboat. It has a motor on the back, but it's just Timothy just fucking going.
Let's. Do either of you have like vehicles as like a tool set?
No.
Because rowing a boat is not as easy as it sounds. Let's get let's get two checks. One for speed and one for direction. So
Okay.
roll a strength check for how fast you can pull this thing, and then give me a wisdom check to keep it going the right direction. And Riles, you do the same.
So just strength. Well, I don't know why I rolled that with advantage. I will re-roll that. What?
All right, you can use the first one.
Timothy
Okay.
rages and goes even harder.
Mechanics and goes
Why
even
did it
harder.
roll with advantage? Oh wait, maybe because I might have rage turned on in Beyond 20. That's why. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I do have rage turned on. And then wisdom, strength +4, wisdom -1. Terrible.
Not bad. What about a wisdom check for Riles?
I'm looking. I might have. I think I have like that jack of
Come on,
all
buddy.
trades. So I wonder if
Hell
I could.
yeah.
So you can add whatever that bonus is. It's half your level, I think, right? Write it
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
Nice.
+1, and then just wisdom. Straight up.
Yeah. Roll a wisdom check and then add that
Oh,
bonus.
7.
What's the bonus?
7.
All
Yeah.
right,
what?
so
We're going
It's actually
fast,
going pretty
but we're going the
fast.
wrong way.
But you're kind of going in circles.
Yeah. Not
Gareth is
unexpected,
too
actually.
drunk to
For
know.
Riles.
He's like, why aren't we getting closer, Riles? I don't get it.
Okay, I'll go faster, and he just like
It's super
puts
fast.
more strength into it, but not.
All right, I'm putting all the rest of your tokens in here just so we have them, because why not? Jareth is actually, I'll put him in there because he's, oh, no, Jareth is in the boat, or he's a shark now. Not a shark anymore. Damn it. Get out of the way, boat. Let's remove the shark. Jareth is with the girl. Bimothy and Nazoth have made it to Jareth and the girl. Garrison is in this boat over here with Riles rowing. Which boat is Gretchen in?
It was with Bim and Azoth.
Yeah, all right. So Garrison, you're trying your best to get Riles to like go and like beat this guy up or something, or confront him or whatever. But Riles is kind of like, he gets like the oars mixed up and just you end up going in a couple circles.
Garrison's depth perception's so off, though. He thinks we're making progress. Like he's like, "Get it, Riles, go, go!" Like,
Meanwhile, Jareth, you're holding this girl like above the water, and she's kind of like a little bit panicked, like, and you can tell that she's not a very strong swimmer. Probably has never really, been tested, especially in deep water. I think Jareth, being a druid, especially wild shaping druid, is probably good with this.
Relax, Arabelle. Just hang on to me. We'll get you to safety.
Like, thank you. I don't know what's wrong with him. He said that he just wanted to see my doll and that he would show me the lake, and then suddenly he grabbed me. What's wrong with him?
I'm not sure, but looks like our other friends in the other boat are trying to confront him. I just look over at him like, okay.
Yeah, Garrison and Riles are not doing so well. You can make another check for Garrison and Riles. Let's see if they can straighten themselves out. Strength and wisdom.
we're headed this way right now. It's like going in
Wow.
circles the other way.
You're now heading back to shore a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna roll a deviation here, like on the face of the clock. 6. Yeah, you start going back the other way. You're heading towards shore now.
I see land.
Oh, perfect. We'll head them off. Great idea.
How much did they have to drink?
Enough.
You don't think that Riles is drunk, which doesn't quite explain everything here.
Yeah, maybe he's more buzzed than he thought.
All right. The girl is pulled up into the boat along with Jareth. You guys have saved her. And she looks at Jareth and says, You know my name.
Yes, your fellow Vistani told us about you because we were looking for some information, said that you had gone missing. And we talked to Blinsky and he said you were going to the river.
Right, yes. Gosh, that man, he seems so nice and just, I mean, maybe not all there, but something wrong with him. And she's just looking across, like she's all soaked and kind of shivering. And you're looking at this guy in this other boat who's still just sitting there, reels in like his fishing rod real slowly, kind of looks at the empty hook, and then reels it up and then casts it out again into the lake. A little bloop.
How far is his boat from our boat?
Maybe 30, 40 feet. Not far at all at this point.
I kind of want to wild shape again.
Into what? Shark?
No, constrictor snake, and just glide along the water and just constrict him up.
I mean, you have your boat now. You don't necessarily need to, but you could.
I thought it was just funny for the story.
It's up to you. You do you. You get a snake out?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty. I think that one is still on your token. Let me check. Yeah, snake is still there. I didn't add these other ones, but I'll do that right now.
And if you make me a bit bigger, please.
Only so big you can be on the lake.
I'm a large beast.
Whoop. You slither over to his boat.
And attempt to constrict him.
Go ahead and roll. Are you trying to hurt him or just constrict him?
Just so I can restrain him.
All right, you slide up onto the boat, and you try to grab him, and he doesn't even seem to care until suddenly you're slithering around him. He's like, oh. He starts to like panic, and he pushes grabs the snake head and is pushing it away. You haven't grabbed him just yet. You want to keep trying?
I'd like to, but my roll 20 just crashed. Can you roll it again for me?
Sure.
Oh wait.
He does not attack you. It doesn't seem like he even has he's got a knife, but he never pulls. He just sort of freaks out with the snake. And here, I rolled a 16 for you. And you can you wrap yourself around him and restrain him in the boat. And he just kind of sits there, just like just kind of moaning. And you hear him kind of mumble to himself, Just wanted to catch one fish. Just one fish. Just wanted to catch one fish.
I hiss at him angrily.
Just one fish. Just stares up at you're kind of holding him down in the boat. And he's just staring up at the sky. He's not even really struggling at this point.
What I'd like to do, and just let me know if this is possible, is if he's still in the boat, I pull him along to the shore, but obviously his body gets caught on the boat, so the boat comes with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is it possible to do that?
You want to drag the boat to shore in your snake form?
Yes.
I don't know if you can do that and constrict him at the same time.
That'd be kind of awkward.
Well, because you're constricting and then swimming.
Yeah, but you can't really do both.
Yeah,
constrict, you're wrapped all around him. You don't have the action to swim. He doesn't seem to be resisting this though. I mean, you can literally just grab the line for the boat and just slither through the water and drag it to shore if you want. The other people in the other boat are really close by. Is Mimothy rowing over towards this one? You see them. You see that Jareth has secured this guy. Are you going to row over there or no?
Oh yeah, I'll
What
be
are you
rowing
doing,
towards him.
Then you'll be up there in a moment. You guys can decide to do whatever you want. Garrison and Riles are still kind of going in circles, but eventually you'll meet up with the rest of them. This guy has been captured. You drag him back to shore. Not to drag this thing out because he doesn't resist. He doesn't try to leap overboard. He doesn't attack anybody. He just mumbles about fish as you guys drag him back. Eventually, all the boats are returned. What was that?
I'll wait for somebody to grab the line then.
I'm sure somebody does.
Yeah, just so I can keep him constricted in case something happens when we get to the land.
When you guys get to land, nothing happens. You drag him off onto the shore, and again, you're still holding him, and he doesn't do anything. Just mumbles about fish.
I just want to know what drugs he's taking, and can I have some?
No. Whatever they are, just no.
What does everybody else do?
Riles is trying to think of a good fish pun.
Arabelle is just kind of watching this kind of from the side, and she goes over to the boat once you've brought it back, and she reaches into under one of the boards and pulls out this doll that she's got that was described to you by Blinsky. And you hear her go, "Oh no!" She looks at it like one of the arms has been torn.
Oh, well, I'm sure Blinsky can fix that easily.
You monster.
Blinsky can fix it.
I constrict a teeny bit tighter.
Hey, Annabelle, where'd you meet this guy?
He was here. He was just sitting in one of the boats.
Weird. Just
Yeah, and then when he saw me, I had come out the northern gate, so I was just going for a walk. I just wanted to get away from everything for a little bit.
Yeah, I understand.
I had a bad dream and left the camp afterwards, and the people there, most of them, well, since grandfather died and grandmother, then it hasn't been, the joy has left the camp. I don't sing quite as much anymore. Pa, he's turned dark.
It's sad, but it's not all Velaki. We've met some Vistani already that don't exactly behave the same way that your tribe has. Maybe there's a way to bring it back to the old way. But what would bring them a lot of happiness is probably finding you safe and sound. I think it's best we get you back. Did that guy tell you his name?
He did. He said his name was Bluto. He said his name was Bluto, and that he'd been fishing every day for a week, but hadn't caught a single thing.
All right, Bluto. I just want to know one thing. What are you doing throwing little girls overboard on boats? And there's only one acceptable answer, so think carefully.
There's an acceptable answer?
I think yes. Might be bait. I told you.
I just wanted one fish, he says. He kind of looks at Nazoth. Just one.
That's
is he
not the
okay?
acceptable answer, right?
Guys, is he okay? He's been saying the same thing over and over again.
I don't think he's right.
Maybe it's just singular-minded focused. Somebody get him a fish. We'll see what happens next. Are there any fish in this lake, Jared? Did you see any?
He doesn't
a
need
couple little ones.
Doesn't,
a lot, though.
I move my head up and down.
Doesn't need a fish. He needs a sturgeon.
Oh, you're gonna need a sturgeon after I punch you in the face.
The only acceptable answer was he thought it was a bag of kittens. Now let's take this girl back to her camp.
That would not be acceptable.
Wait, Jareth the snake, can you get a fish? I want to see what happens if homie gets a fish.
All right, I unconstrict and jump in the water and grab some fish in my mouth.
You go swimming in the lake for a few minutes, and there's a couple little tiny
While he's
fish,
doing that,
but it takes you a while to kind of hunt one down. Oh, go ahead, Naza.
While he's hunting for fish, can I do an Arcana check to see if there's something weird about this guy or some kind of insight?
And I'll make sure he's not undead.
I mean, obviously he's weird, but if there's some kind of something on him.
Obviously he's weird, but
I'll do Eyes of the Grave to see if he's undead.
I'll do an Arcana check to see if he's under some kind of spell or something.
You can roll Arcana. You can roll Insight too. He's not undead. I'll tell you that right now. Eyes of the Grave determines nothing.
Perfect.
Did
it not show up? It showed 19 on my end.
Oh, for Arcana, there's nothing magical about this guy.
Okay.
Insight.
Insight checks.
Nice.
Nazoth, you can't quite figure it out. You think this guy's cursed or something, but you don't see any
something
magical
fishy
evidence
about this
on him.
guy.
Yeah.
Lack of fishy.
Lack of fishy.
Gretchen, you've now been around the locals here in Barovia for a few days, and you've begun to notice something about some of them. There's almost a lack of when you meet people, there's a glint in their eyes, in a way you can sort of see a little bit of their personality, and some say maybe that's a window to the soul or something like that through the eyes. And this guy's eyes are just flat and just devoid of emotion. You can smell booze on him. You think he's been drinking at some point, but you don't think that that's why he is the way that he is. You've seen other people, like some of those even in Vallaki, who just have this same sort of look to them. Like there's just something missing about them.
They don't
Not
have.
quite.
Huh.
It's almost like, I mean, you don't have any evidence of this, but it almost feels like they're soulless.
That still
Oh,
doesn't
that would
explain
be
why he's
very
using a
bad.
little girl as live bait.
Oh boy, that wouldn't be good.
But not everyone's
Um,
like that. Not everyone here. You've just noticed that there are some people here that
Oh
just
boy,
don't seem
I'm
to
trying
have a
think
lot
how
going on.
Kellenvor would feel about soulless people.
Hmm?
Because that's not too far from just being undead.
Right.
I mean, I guess it depends on if they're golems or not. If they were born with a soul and the soul was taken away, he probably wouldn't like that.
But what if they signed
Yeah.
a contract?
If they were
Like
purpose
trading.
made, then like golems, then I don't think he would care.
What if he traded their souls for something though?
I don't know. I'm just gonna step back. I don't know how to handle this.
Gretz, what's wrong?
We need
allergic
to
to
leave. We need to get her away from him.
What's wrong with him?
We need to get him away from him.
What's wrong with this guy? Hey, buddy, what's your problem?
I'm not sure.
What's wrong with this guy? You know what? Nothing.
He doesn't really answer coherently. It's almost like there's nobody home when you're asking. Every once in a while, he'll say like, "I just want a fish, just one fish." Eventually, Jareth comes back in snake form with a fish in his mouth. It took him a while to find one. There are not a lot in that lake, and if you weren't like swimming around like a predator, like fishing like with nets, you probably would have had no luck as well. But when you bring one back up on the shore and like flop it in front of this guy. He's tied up right now, but like his eyes turn to it, and he's like, just one fish. Fishy. And he seems to kind of like be at peace for a moment. Then his eyes kind of go still, and then he closes them, and he starts snoring.
All right, well, good job, Jareth. That worked perfectly.
Maybe we should take him to Iz or something.
Yeah, definitely. Let's tie him to the fish, and let's let everybody get out of here.
I was going to suggest we put him in a burlap sack and throw him in the water, but you guys do you.
We need him. He means something to somebody, and they're gonna.
I don't know if he does.
Well, he's got it. He's not just gonna be out here by himself. He knows something. Somebody knows he's out here. You know what I mean? Like he can't just be here, and just somebody like this in his state can't take care of himself.
Someone in his state shouldn't exist, but
I'm the evil one here, right? He tried to drown a little girl. Why are we helping him?
We're not.
We just need to find out more. What if there's something to all?
I'm saying this in character, by the way.
I attempted.
I'm not criticizing you guys.
No, you're doing great.
No, yeah. Listen, Nas, I get you. I mean, he definitely sucks, but the girl's okay. And why don't we see what happens with this guy? What if he belongs to the Lady Watchers, or what if he's involved somehow? You know, might be worth.
He needs to be locked away for everyone's safety.
All right, fine. Maybe there's a bounty on him or something.
I see that. It might be worth something. You know, Gretch, you gonna tell us what's up? Or are you just gonna be crazy?
He doesn't have any spark.
He's not a transformer.
He doesn't have a soul.
What?
Oh.
I
true,
don't
Pluto?
know.
Pluto, you don't have a soul.
He's just.
How did I become Jareth again?
I've switched your token out. I got all the new ones anyway.
Oh. Am I good to constrict him again?
He's tied up.
Yeah, you don't need to
He's
do
asleep. He's not going anywhere. Do you constrict him to like crush him, or what are you talking about?
Shit. Honestly, Jareth wants to drag him to the Vistani. I just don't know how to get that across to people in my form.
I think that's kind of, we're taking him alive, so we're gonna bring him back to the Vistani camp. So it's kind of, we're all in agreement.
Yeah, might be time to de-wild shape.
Unless we can all ride on your back like a big slide, and you just wiggle your way up the road.
I'm down because I've just wasted my 2 wild chips. I kind of want to use it for a little longer.
Wasn't a waste.
Oh,
Well, you're gonna back on a short rest, so it's not that like.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
So,
bad.
but I offer you all to ride on my back to the camp. If you
Rough.
like.
Even though it does not
maybe
mechanically
Riles
allowed.
can, but most people can't.
He's large.
I'm a large beast.
He's large,
It's-
but you're not like that. You're not designed for riding. There's some things in the rules that talk about animals that are appropriate for riding. The snake is not really.
That's too bad.
Maybe
It
a
was
small
funny.
person could, but like
because you're
most
large,
of
but
us
you're
don't-
not
yeah.
much. You're not that wide, you know.
Mhm.
You're large, but you're not in charge.
I'm chaotic evil. I say hang the rules. Giddy up, Jareth.
So,
Y'all jump on, and Jareth is like, ugh, just squashed on the ground.
Just break all his vertebrae. It's just
Yeah.
a snake that like is just weirdly
so-
flat in parts now. Like,
can I take since Naz wanted to go, Naz and maybe the
Well, we
sleeping
can
guy?
walk. We don't have to figure this out.
Yeah, but like, can I take 1 or 2? Is that okay?
Sure.
I'll take Naz and the sleeping guy.
You struggle with Naz, and you drag the sleeping guy, but sure, you can drag him along. It might take you a little longer than normal, but eventually you guys will head
Trying
down
to
to the
imagine
south of the
that,
line.
and it's
Do you go around like
No.
Malaki, or do you just drag this guy?
I'll just
over the
tie his
streets?
tail around his leg. Yeah.
either not.
This is way
Sorry, Jerry.
overcomplicated.
Hang on.
I love how we put more thought into the stupid shit than our actual combat strategies.
That's D&D.
Alrighty. Are you guys going around the Valaki, or are you dragging this guy through the streets?
I'd rather not make Izek angry.
Yeah, I'd probably take him off because he's all about, the happy police. So
Yeah, that's not gonna look happy.
I mean, riding a snake, it looks pretty fun.
A snake
All right.
dragging an unconscious man along the street.
with an evil warlock riding him, yeah, that's not going to cause a thing.
I need an image of that.
It's literally an evil warlock.
Evil warlock riding a giant snake, dragging somebody down the street.
Oh yeah. Hey, I will do that for you.
Oh boy. I'll put it in real quick. I'm curious.
I'll be back in a moment.
If you can, remember, my snake has a tinge of gold. This is so fun.
One second. I think I got something here. You now made me use one of my things for the day, but I gotta see what happens. All right. As that is cooking, let's head back to the other map. Town of Valaki map. You guys you went out the north gate here to the lake, and you come back through the forest, kind of around to the northwest. As you're making your way through the forest, let me see if you have any kind of message. As you're making your way through the forest, you can hear some voices in the woods calling out. And they're calling out the name of Arabelle, the girl that's with you. And her head raises up and she says, Those are my people. They're looking for me. We should go to them.
That's where we're heading.
don't
Holy
worry.
shit, I came
you
up with. I don't know which one of these images is better.
They're all great or they're all terrible?
Yes.
They are actually kind of good. Here, hold on a second.
Oh wow.
Hell
But he's not dragging a guy, but still.
He might be. You can't tell from the
yeah, you just
angle.
can't see. Exactly.
That's actually
That
that's
first one's
pretty
an
dope.
album cover.
Yeah.
Belongs on the
there's-
side of a minivan.
All three, they got three that were all pretty. This one doesn't quite look like it. Like the coils are weird on this one, but
Yeah, that doesn't like work physically, but
no, and this one kind of doesn't really either. But it looks cool.
Damn.
The first one might be the best, but I like how he's
like
just
the
sitting
last
on the.
one.
I like the
I'm
last one. The
sorry.
way he's sitting on it, he's just like
he casts fly on it.
Yeah, he got like Santa Claus rides a snake that's still in a coil vibes. Like,
It's like a snake, but as a sand speeder. A speeder.
Yeah. I thought they were smelly on the outside. Oh boy.
this top
Crazy.
one is great though.
Bing is like on it. They
It's
did
really
something.
crazy how good they've gotten.
Some of them are still really bad. Like I've been trying a few others lately, and like they just can't do shit.
But the Bing one specifically, it's
The Bing one is like, yeah, like kind of scary good.
Yep, it's what I've used for the last couple of characters.
Night Cafe keeps turning the snake into some kind of vehicle.
Yeah, like I've noticed that Bing does a good job of really sort of like, I don't know what they did, but like when you add things in, a lot of other AI generators, like they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They're
good with the
or you have
editors.
to know the prompt lingo or something to figure it out. Like there's whole like they're hiring people now that know how to like manipulate the prompts for like AI image generators and stuff. Like they're paying people to do that now. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude, like Fiverr as a freelance is just filled with people just running AI.
Yeah, and this stuff's showing up everywhere. Like it's on like Adobe stock images. Like there's art in there that people have spent their time like, drawing and illustrating or painting stuff, and then they put it up on like Adobe for like, oh, you can use this for like $1 or something. And then there's a million like AI images that just showed up on there recently. It's really annoying. And people are like making money from these like in stock photos by basically just putting in a prompt and then porting it over to Photoshop. It's annoying.
Well, down with those people and down with this crazy guy and up with the stuff.
I mean, I think it's fine for stuff like this where you're just like, I just want to visualize something, see what it looks like, in the spur of the moment. But like taking this and then like selling to somebody for like $5-10 or even more, it just doesn't seem right.
It's kind of wrong, right? Because you didn't do much.
I think the big controversy is that the AI uses real artists to learn from, so its style looks like theirs, and
that's what I was going to say. It's like as soon as you monetize it, then it's a big problem. Like if it's a freebie type of thing, like hey, I just wanted a freaking token for my game, which is like nobody's paying for that and whatnot. Like, and some people still go out and like they'll pay people for like a very specific art for their character. People still do that.
I commissioned a piece and then we made it 5 games in and stopped playing. So.
Was that one of my games? That wasn't one of my games.
No, it wasn't. No, I've never. No, it wasn't. It was.
You never commissioned anything for my games.
No. Oh no. Well, I use the AI now.
You hate all your characters in my games.
Oh
yeah.
I made a couple and they're kind of dark.
You got
anyway.
the Slytherin version.
So Arabelle has basically like she's kind of pulling away from your group, trying to make it towards. Ooh, that's not bad.
That's awesome with the body.
Yeah, it's a little ghoulish.
I feel like that's like a
Grim
Riles.
Reaper.
It looks like Riles drew it of like a concept of what Rob was posting.
Nice. All right. So, do you guys take Arabelle to these voices? I mean, you don't know who they are, but she's saying that it sounds like her people, and they're calling out her name.
Is it in the direction of the correct camp?
No, they're just like in the forest, not like. Let's see. They are.
You would be looking for her.
Yeah, but we also know not to listen to the voices in the woods. Like we've been told that.
They're kind of in the
Excellent
direction of Valaki, like back this way. Like you kind of went around them. You think?
Oh, I mean, if they're on the way, then yeah, let's go through them.
Well, they're off to the side. They're not like you'd have to backtrack a little bit to get to them.
So they're not on the way to the camp as we know it. Like camp proper is not on the way.
Do you see the map? I'll point out where the camp is, and I'll point out where you're hearing that. 1 second. So you guys are here. I'll ping you. Ding.
Yes.
And the camp is this way. Like you can actually see it way down on the bottom there. It's on
Oh,
the
that's
south of the
okay.
road.
Right.
The
I
voices
gotcha.
are coming from like this way.
No, let's just walk to the
Like
camp.
you went
Yeah, that's a
around them.
big
Like you,
no from
you
me,
went
dog.
this way.
All right.
We're going to
Garrison,
camp.
Yeah, ain't no way in hell. Those are
just
evil
get her
voices.
home. Who knows? That could be like their cousin or something trying to take our win here. If we get her back, they might thank us.
So she's already like kind of breaking away from you to go towards them. Do you guys like grab her and stop her then?
Yeah, we
yeah,
tell them voices in the woods and warn her and all that.
we got one job, and that's to get you home, sweetheart. And we don't know if that's the right way, so we're going to your house.
But that's them. I can hear them.
That's someone. Definitely not them.
It's a type of boogin.
Give me a persuasion check. And if anybody else is talking to her, they can. I'll give you 2 attempts. Garrison has already kind of like said, no, we're not doing that. So he's got to sort of lead this, but somebody else can give it a shot too.
I'm not persuasive.
I have a great
Whoops.
bonus, but that's a fumble.
Oh boy.
Is that a fumble?
A 9.
Rolled 3.
Oh,
I'm
3.
scaring
Well,
her into thinking the woods are scary.
All right, so Garrison actually rolled pretty well. He's making a little bit of sense to her. And like when you say, you know what, we don't know who that is, could be anybody, we're taking you home. She stops and kind of looks around and then nods slowly. You're right. Enough strange things have happened today that could be anything. And she kind of moves up with your group, maybe a little bit more kind of frightened of what could be out here. If you guys are saying like this is dangerous, but she follows along with you as you guys head back down through the woods, eventually cross the old Svalich Road, and take this little switchback trail that goes into this forest to the south of Vallaki.
Hey,
yeah.
If you could get a whole different stuffed animal, which one would you want?
A whole different one.
I mean, a different one.
Why would I want a different one? I've had this one since I was as long as I can remember.
Can I see it?
No. She kind of holds it up so you can look at it, but she does not want to give it over.
You don't have to get rid of that one or anything. I'm just saying, like, if you ever wanted a second one, for it to have like a friend or something. I don't know. Like, somebody gave me a bear, but I really loved giraffes. And then someone gave me an opportunity to get a giraffe instead. I might take that. So I was just wondering if perhaps we came across another one. What would you want?
Oh, I honestly, I'm pretty much too old for these things. I'm only hold on to this one because my mother gave it to me.
When you gave it to Mr. What's his name to fix, did you watch him while he fixed it?
To get off Blinsky?
Yeah.
Well, yes, he fixed it. He went and he found a button and he sewed it back in and it lost its eye. That was all. He was very nice about it. It's not the first time that he's fixed it. And my mother bought the original one from him. Must be 12 years ago or so. Which he kind of turns the doll over and you can see that there's this really sort of faded tag kind of like right under its butt that reads, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky."
Before we get too close to your camp, what could you tell us about your grandparents? Did you say that passed that made everyone sad?
They were the elders. They were the elders of our camp, and they died a few years ago. My grandmother was one of them. She was the card reader. She was the fortune teller amongst us, the seer. And they say that some of her spirit has latched on to me because I think I can read them too. At least I'm learning. And my grandfather, I think maybe he just died out of sadness. He missed her. And then a couple of years ago, my mother, something in the woods got her. I don't really know. They never really said. But my father has been cruel ever since. It's really changed him.
It's a lot of pain to deal with. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that all of your people are struggling like that. Losing elders and losing others around you is awful. It's happened
She
to
loo-
me too.
She looks at you and she says, is that what happened to your hands?
Yeah, I got off easy though. Everyone else didn't escape with their lives.
She kind of frowns at that, but doesn't really say anything.
But that's why we're here though. We're going to turn this place around. We're going to get you back. We're going to make your family happy. We're going to continue to make the people inside that town happy. And we're going to get out of here some way, somehow. We're going to figure it out.
She kind of gives you a sad little smile, but doesn't challenge you on that.
All right. Well, must be getting close.
You can see kind of ahead that there is a sort of a hill, in a clearing around this hill as well, and you can see that the camp has been built around it. You see low houses, 6 of them, actually 7, you think, because there might be one on the other side of the hill. They seem to be kind of evenly spaced, at least in the side you're approaching from. They're all elegantly carved, and the woodwork has decorative lanterns kind of hanging from the eaves. Atop the hill, above the fog, there is a ring of barrel-topped wagons, like the wagons you saw in Madame Eva's encampment. These are like a slightly different color, and it looks like they've been here a while. And you can see that there's a large tent right in the center of all those wagons, smoke coming out through a hole at the top. You can also see, like, kind of glimpsed between like the circled wagons in this large tent, that there are a couple dozen horses that have been kind of tethered up in sort of like a defensive ring between these areas. It's like a donut sort of shape, like there's the wagons, and then there's like a space where these horses are, and then there's the tent that's sort of in the center. One thing you do notice, though, is that these houses, the ones you can see, they don't seem like a Vistani design. Vistani, they use a lot of bright colors, and you've never seen them in a house before. Everybody give me a history check. And actually, Jareth, you will know this automatically. It's not quite exactly the same as your people, but some of these houses, some of the designs on the edges and the eaves remind you of elven workmanship.
Nice critical, Bim.
Yeah.
I love it.
Timothy built that house.
Timothy,
natural
you've seen things
19.
like these before as well.
I've traveled
the
around.
The houses look like they are of elven design.
That 2019.
Here, there's I'm going to bring you guys to a map, and at the bottom of the map, you can see sort of like a. Hold on, let me make sure you can see all this.
Oh, I just saw
here we
Jared's
go.
image. That's
That's the closest I could get. I went through like 20 of them.
oh my word.
Oof.
That's a
It'd
lot
be
of
interesting.
coils.
It'd be interesting if we all used the same exact prompt.
Write
Yeah.
it and I'll put it in.
Yeah, like whatever Rob prompted, we should all grab and slap it in. Just the
I
same.
love how it's a medieval setting, but one of the dudes is just wearing a everyday casual.
Yeah, the guy on the left with the button down on is just great. Like,
Oh,
with cell phones?
yeah. Some of them are a little bit weird. They won't go like in a regular style. Hold on a second. Here, I'll put in
Oh,
my prompt.
And Jared's is like in Chinatown or something.
All my prompt was evil wizard rides a massive snake through the streets.
Yeah, this looks like San Francisco Chinatown.
Here, this is what I put in. Just drawn D&D style. Blah blah blah.
All right, I will see.
Putting mine in being 2, so it's probably gonna be pretty similar.
I've heard that sometimes it matters what order you put some of the prompts in.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now the
depending
question
on-
is what style though, because there's got preset or there's so many different other styles.
I didn't do anything with that.
Yeah,
I don't
just
think.
do
I'll
like,
stick with preset then.
or like that doesn't
Right.
let you do like custom
Yeah.
or no style.
Yeah.
Mine are essentially just like Rob's.
Are they? They come out very similar.
Yeah, I'll send them over.
All right, bringing you guys to a new map here. And if you go down, you'll be at the top. You guys will be arriving on this little path from the top. You can see it's a pretty big map. And hold on, it's actually revealing something here that should be hidden. 1 moment. It's going to hide everything, and I got to reveal it again. Hold on a second.
Oh, but then there's this one.
Sure.
So this place is different than the camp we were at before.
Oh yeah, a lot different. There are permanent structures here, which there were not at the other one.
Okay, why did we go to this camp then?
This is where she's from. You've not been. The previous Vistani camp that you were at was a temporary one that was back towards Kresk. That was Madame Eva's camp.
By the Wizard of Wines.
This is a different tribe of Vistani, like a different clan or something like that.
All right.
It keeps giving him the snake legs.
Riles,
Snake legs.
Is the guy like playing a didgeridoo, or I'm so confused.
I have no idea. I used the exact same prompt.
Which one are you using?
I use Leonardo AI.
Okay.
I got 4 different ones, and they're only weirder
Oh.
than that one.
What did you use?
I'm gonna expand.
Ryan?
That's
Riles, yours is a little NSFW, I have to say.
I mean, looking at where that snake is
Yeah.
coming from,
Shroud
mean-
the snake.
Yeah.
It goes back into the background and then comes back into the foreground and above his head, like.
You're still using
Ryan's
Midjourney, right?
yours are epic.
Yeah, that's mid.
Yeah, Midjourney is still king.
Yeah.
Midjourney is still king.
Jeez.
And that's without any kind of upscaling and whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Should have put surfing on a snake. That would have been. Should have right.
I kind of like the crazier ones better. Like the one that Gretchen got is really
The
cool.
second one?
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That second one's crazy. He's coming for your whole town.
Yeah, right. Like he's a
It's
god.
the Nazoth, the snake king or king priest or whatever. I am a god.
Yeah, I feel like that's the level 20 D&D fight that you do.
Yeah. But that first one, that is just straight up one of Rob's.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right,
close.
This is the best one. Out of like 20.
Except his were more black and white.
That's so funny. He's got like a snake cane. That's so good.
Not exactly riding it. He's got.
No,
It kept
Okay.
wanting to give the snake
Alright.
legs.
Yeah, Bim's. Yours is like the very first one that Robin.
yeah. Is that Bing too?
It is also pink.
Yeah, that's got to be pink.
Am I the only one that uses Night Cafe?
Yeah.
I think you might be.
I used
got-
it before Bing came out, but Bing is just so much better for what I've used it for.
There's a sentence I never thought I'd hear.
I went like months
know,
without
right?
using tokens, so
Right?
I have so many saved up. I've got like over 2,000, so I can just keep spamming.
Gotcha.
them.
The Bing one gives you like 15 free a day,
Yeah,
it's-
this is
you
5
never
for
run-
you there.
I've never. run out.
but they don't like the Bing doesn't like it doesn't. If you don't use them, you lose them for Bing.
It
You only get
it used to stack. It
Oh,
stopped
yeah?
for some reason.
That's
But
because they
it
want to
did
sell
for
it. now.
yeah.
Oh,
You know what? As it gets better, just expect more features to go away.
Yeah.
Okay,
I swear, all of this stuff is going to be like an arm and a leg in 2 years.
okay, this is your prompt. Check this one out.
They're just
All right,
allowing us to
that
use
one's
all of
better.
this stuff as like testing.
Still looks like he's got a third leg that's a snake.
Oh my word!
Yeah, but I mean that still looks way better.
This guy hit puberty and never walked again.
I
He's
mean,
literally,
okay,
that's like,
it literally looks like
it looks like a Hobbit village that he's in too. They're all the houses are really
do you
small.
see it has like pant?
Mm-hmm.
It's a pant leg that turns into a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
it's his
ignore
third
that
leg.
and say that's part of the snake's body.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Just
that's what
going
they call
through
it.
his 2 legs. So underneath him as he rides it. That's what I'm seeing.
I
And
can't
then
decide if I
wrapped
think the
around
first.
behind him.
I think the first one that my favorite out of all these, at least the one that I think looks the best, is the first one that that Brian put in, like the sort of gray, like
Yeah.
one with the guy
best.
riding the snake down the village road. That looks like the best out of all.
See,
think
like
that's my
I like
favorite.
yours first one the most out of all.
Mine, but the first one, but he looks like he's hovering. Unfortunately,
But it's just sick. Like I just feel
Yeah.
like the snake is moving quick, and they're like,
yeah.
it's
And
just like,
It is
he looks
pretty good.
perfect.
It looks like a rock and roll cover, like a CD cover.
yeah, like I love it. Yeah, like I want it as like a on the side of a panel of a van. Like,
Oh, like snake rider
was it snake?
and snakes down the village road.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Barovia. Man, we just wasted a lot of time on snake riding.
Great.
That's odd. This whole thing just started with like, I don't think you can ride a snake. Well, Midjourney says that we can. Hey, I can do anything.
Even Midjourney is like, I'm not sure how this works. So
I'm somewhat. I don't know.
Throw
I'm
lots of
somewhat
cookies.
convinced now that you can ride a snake.
Yes, got him. It's all deep fakes. We just need
All
7
right.
deep fakes.
I feel like you can ride a snake, but the snake must be your penis.
Oh.
Oh,
Ah.
That's
How do you
what
know
get
it is?
for
I need
using
some
AI.
eye bleach.
Are any of these even like? Are you able to show any of these on like YouTube? Like, I'm afraid to show any of them.
Oh, it's too late. I have been showing them.
Oh, these are going up?
Yeah, why not? Or else this is like the most boring conversation to just overhear and
Yeah.
not see. Like, they're like,
This
"What do
last
you
one-
mean? This like a snake coming out of his pant leg?"
I mean, theater of the mind.
no,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
perfect.
Ignore it. Pretend
He's running the kind of
riding
stream
it.
that I want to be in.
Okay, I
That
really
last
like
one
Jersey's-
is. That last
Yeah.
one's leaving a dust trail. Like, it's really booking.
I really like that one, Bim.
Yep. I just like the
That
snake has the snake,
The snake
looks like
looks
he's
a little
having,
bit like Jareth.
he's having
just like-
the time of his fucking life. That snake.
It's such like a Pokemon snake. Like it really looks.
It's an onyx.
He's just like happy to be here. He's like,
Happy.
yeah,
Not onyx.
I'm a snake.
Yas, queen. Yas.
yes.
All right, you guys have arrived at Vistani Cap. Do you want to go in?
We throw the kid in a bag and
Seconds
put her
is
in the
Nazov, Jareth, and Bluto just they take a little turn and they take a spin around the place just because they can, and then you guys are good to go. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of this map, though, you can see there's sort of like a view of this from the side to show you what this sort of clearing in the hill and the houses and the camp at the top all look like.
Cool. Good spot.
And like I said, the houses are weird. They don't seem to like the Vistani have like their own style, and the houses don't fit it. And there's an elven sort of like design to it. It's not full on like elven. Like it's not like they're not from like Jareth's world and Bim, you've not seen anything exactly like this before, but both of you recognize like a little bit of elven workmanship there.
Would she tell us a little bit? Like, is this a?
No, she doesn't really say anything. You guys are just mark. She's like, this is her
Well, can
home.
we
She
ask-
probably takes it for
Hey.
granted.
Is this like a elven burial ground or like a elven place of worship? What How come you guys live
Oh
in Elk?
no, those are for the Dusk Elves.
Oh,
There's a few of them that still live in Barovia.
when they live with you guys?
We sort of live with them. My father and my uncle, we were put in charge of protecting them, which is why the camp is here. Kind of been here a long time, longer than most of us are used to, but we do kind of, still occasionally take little trips.
How did your father and your uncle get the privilege of doing that?
Oh, well, because they were ordered to by the Lord of the Land.
Oh, okay. Who are you protecting them from?
I'm not really sure. I mean, they've been here hundreds of years, and long before, even my great grandfather was born, they were here. There's not a lot of them though, and there's only men. There's no women.
Oh, have
Red
you
flag.
ever have you ever seen them pass away?
I know that one died, but that's because they got very sick, not because of old age. And most of them look no older than, well, they kind of look around your group and then maybe look at Bimothy, maybe, no older than him. Young forever, they say for elves.
Amazing. Well, let's get you home, and if we run into those guys, it'll be a pleasure. I guess. I think I'm a little.
I think it's very quiet right now. You also notice that there's there's a Vistani standing at the door of the two houses that you can, actually the three I think that you can see when you're approaching this way. There's a Vistani with a spear standing in front of the door of each one of these houses, like a guard.
Are they allowed out?
Yes, but they have to say where they're going, and they're not allowed to go far.
Whoa. Did they like that?
I don't know. I mean, they never have gone anywhere.
Well, because you don't let them.
She kind of just shrugs and
Hey,
says, I don't know if they're, I mean, I know that my father says that they're not supposed to go anywhere, but I've never seen any of them try.
Well, I'm for anything. I'm for free agency. So, I had a friend that was a tiger, and I thought he wanted to get out, but nobody else thought so. I hope these guys aren't like my friend the tiger.
I'm sure they're all right. I mean, you could probably talk to them. You talk to them if you want. I don't think there's any law against that.
Let's get you home first. I don't want to do anything that we shouldn't do yet.
All right. You lead her up the this little road here, and now it's kind of late, it's dark when you guys arrive at the Vistani camp. The you make your way up this little road to the wagons, and you can see that there's some lights on in a few of them, and you can hear the sounds of voices and a little bit of singing, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of people here right now. She leads you up to the main camp, kind of brings you right up here, and then through the wagons, and then around to the front of the tent, over here. So, over there. Multira, check my notes. Looking for something.
From far out, I thought the horses were like a pattern in the ground. And
Right.
They were just
No,
horses.
they're all horses. There seems to be mostly like work horses on this side. When you come around to the front, you can see a few over here that look a little bit different, a little bit smaller and sleeker, like they might be riding horses.
Race cars.
Yeah, race cars. Uh, so when you get to the front of the tent here, you notice that there's a bunch of casks, like wine casks here, but they all look like empty. They're kind of like tossed to like the side, and like a couple of them have like the taps are like open, and it seems as if, well, if this is where they're storing their wine, they might be going through a lot of it pretty quickly.
Garrison catches a whiff and throws up.
All right, Snake has dragged, I think, these guys over here. You got Nazoth riding the snake. I'm sure you're all over here, so it's dragging you over. From the outside of the tent, before you head in, you suddenly hear the crack of a whip, followed by the howls of a male voice, just like ah! Just kind of screams out. And Arabelle, who's kind of at the front of your group, about to go into the tent, kind of stops, kind of dead, and kind of looks back your direction, like she wasn't expecting that. I think my father's angry with someone. And you hear again, "You were supposed to be on watch!" Whip! And then smack! And another scream. Ah!
Garrett, we'll give you somebody to whip. Hang on.
You go and open the tent flap?
Yeah, the flap. So yeah, Garrison.
Of course we do. Sounds like someone's having a party.
Yeah, push through.
All
You
right,
want to
let me
whip
clear out
somebody? Hit
thing.
this guy.
I remove the door. And you guys slip into the tent, and there are a few people in here. There's a couple of sputtering campfires in here that light the place, and there are about a half a dozen Vistani that are passed out, like in different areas of the tent. They look, and you can smell, like just that smell of old alcohol and kind of the staleness in here, maybe a little bit of vomit. There is a teenager, kind of a big teenager, in the center of the tent who's tied to a pole in the center. His shirt is off, and there's a bunch of lashes, like bloody lashes on his back. And there's an older man wearing studded leather armor who has a horsewhip that he's kind of holding and yelling at this guy. As you step into the tent, there's another man, a third one, who seems to be watching, and you can tell the two are brothers. They have a very similar look. And the other one says, "Easy, easy," kind of looking past the guy with the whip towards you as you've kind of burst into the tent. The other one turns and he looks your direction, and he's like, "Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Brought your
What do
daughter
you
back.
want?"
What I want
And-
is for you to stop whipping this one and start to hit that one. And he points outside.
Who are you to order me around?
The one that just brought your daughter back.
That doesn't give you the right. He kind of looks past you and he sees Arabelle. And he says, "Arabelle." And he kind of steps past, kind of pushing you out of the way with the whip. "My daughter, you all right?" And Arabelle is just kind of like a little bit stunned that Garrison just ran right into this tent and like stood up to this guy. And she's like, I'm fine, father, I'm fine. They rescued me. There was someone in town, and her father. Actually, I think I have this backwards. It's the other guy that has moved in. Oh. Make sure I get these two right.
Oh, is this the father?
Yeah, this is the father. I have them mixed up. This is the father. He steps forward. The other guy was kind of over here. And Arabelle says they rescued me. And this guy is like, "Who was it? Who did it? Where is he?" And he kind of looks past the tent, sees the group of you outside, sees a giant snake dragging an unconscious Barovian behind him. "What is this? What is this big snake here? Who are all of you?" And Arabelle says, They're good people. They all rescued me. That one, that's not really a snake. That's an elf, and he can turn into a snake. And her father says, "An elf? What sort of elf? Reveal yourself," he calls out towards the snake. "Show me your true form."
First, can I whip the guy to the tent
Sure.
with my tail?
He goes flying over, crashes into the daughter, knocks her
Kills
out.
the girl.
No!
Whoops! Threw a little bit too hard.
Sorry, the wild snake. We're working on it.
And he goes crashing to the ground, kind of rolls to a stop, unconscious, right in front of the tent. Do you then change back?
Yep.
Looks like you did. All right, we'll shrink you back down. When you become your regular self, he kind of straightens up, as if maybe he was expecting something different. All of you are outsiders. You're not an elf from here.
No, I am Prince Jareth Beverell from a realm called Elythium.
I've never heard of it.
I doubt you would. You'll find out more. We're opening an embassy soon.
Of what?
They're advertising strippers in the embassy. I don't know if you can go there.
The old Durst Manor, now the Elythium Embassy.
First man of that cursed place.
Yes, don't worry. It is now a safe place.
You think so?
Yes,
How
and we've
long?
laid
Where did you
Durst to
meet
rest.
these fools? And Errol says, they just don't know, Father. They don't know yet. I think they're new. And he kind of grabs her and not really grabs her, like ushers her behind him. And he kind of turns and he looks at Garrison again. And kind of squares up against you, like he is sizing you up. You burst into my tent without any sort of announcement. I'm glad that you have brought my daughter back, and so I will forgive you. But I think
Well, it looked like you were having a party in here.
the party is long over.
Do you want to whip this guy instead? He is the one who kidnapped your daughter, threw her in a sack, dumped her in the lake, and I had to turn into a shark to rescue her.
Alright, maybe we'll make this guy that is loyal to you a young guy. He's probably learned his lesson from now, huh? Garrison looks at this guy that's probably just tied up and bleeding down the back, you know?
Yeah, he looks pretty messed up. He's a younger guy, and the other brother at this point has kind of moved over and is untying him.
Can I 5 points lay on him?
Also, you need to flick your wrist. It's all in the wrist when it comes to whipping.
Wheels off. Don't help.
He says, "Don't tell me my business. I know how to use this quite well. Have you not noticed all the horses outside?"
Saw those. The ones over on the other side look quite fast.
Garrison, did you do a lay on hands, you said, on this guy?
Yeah, if I can, I'll just try
Sure.
to give him a little bit of love tap. So Garrison rest a forearm on him and give him 5 points.
The most of the lashes on him vanish quickly, just leaving his back bloody, and he gives kind of like a sigh of relief. The other one, the man that was untying him, kind of looks over and then looks at Garrison with maybe a little bit of surprise. "You're a healer."
Not mainly, but I've been lucky enough to receive some benefits for some things that I've lost. Sorry for being so bold coming in here, sir, but the screams of that man, I figured that you would rather put your energy to real use. We've gotten nothing out of this. He just speaks about fish. We gave him a fish. I don't know what to tell you. My great friend Gretchen out there seems to be awfully worried about that person. And your people seem awfully attuned with, well, more than just this world, let's say. Maybe you guys can figure it out together. Gretch, can you try to tell him what you were telling us?
Well, basically, he doesn't appear to have a soul.
The father looks down at me and kind of over at you as well. He says, "Some of those born in this land are not blessed with one. Not many to go around, I think. has something to do with the mists. But that matters not at all. So he picks this guy up and sort of drags him across the tent, kind of past Garrison. He looks to his brother. He looks to his brother and he says, Aragal, get Alexei out of here. We now have a new target. And Aragal grabs Alexei, kind of pulls him away from the tent pole, kind of pulls him back to his feet. He says, off with you now. And this guy kind of stumbles past another guy sleeping and then out of the tent. Happy to be out of this place. Meanwhile, Luvash is tying up Bluto to the pole. Arabelle is kind of watching this and kind of, you can see that she's kind of cringing a little bit. Like maybe she knows what's going to happen.
Arabelle, are you typically present when this stuff happens?
She looks at you, and her father kind of turns to you as well, and he says, she has seen more than I imagine most of you will ever see in your lives. She has the sight, you know. Has seen quite a bit of death and other things.
Speaking of which, I nudge Garrett. Cards?
Oh, yes. Arabelle, could you tell us what this card means? And I show the shepherd card.
You show it to her, and she kind of does like a little bit of a double take. A little surprised that you have this. Well, that's the shepherd card. And then she looks at her father, and her father seems to be putting the last of the lashes on Bluto to the pole. He looks at her and says, you may give them a reading if that is what they want. And he glances again at Garrison and then past him to Nazov. And I will reward you as well for bringing this one to us. He looks at Bluto. And Bluto's like kind of unconscious, like half unconscious and like moaning, tied up to the pole. And Aragal kind of stands back, kind of watching this impassively as his brother starts squaring up with the whip. If you don't wish to witness this, you can leave. Arabelle, you can take them to our wagon.
It's all right with you. I'd like to stay. I'd like to hear if he leaks anything out. I'm interested what would get a man to do something like this, and if there's others out there.
Somehow I don't think he's in his right mind, but not that matters.
Arabelle leaves the tent for this. Like she takes that up the first opportunity to get out of there. And was there something else you were gonna say, Brian?
I was just gonna say, like, maybe they have a way to see through it, you know? Like maybe something here, like they're a different culture, you know, who knows? Like it might not just be whipping, who knows what else they might do to this person in this tent considering what he's done, you know? So Garrison just wants to witness what, even if like they wind up killing him through torture or something, like he wants to be there to just see if anything squeaks out.
Right. Do you say that to him? Like, I think you said something, right? Like, I want to hear what he says.
Yeah, I'm not squeamish. I'll stand back and you do what you must, but if something is said, I'd like to know.
Oh, I don't think that anything is going to be said. Because I'm not going to ask him any questions.
Be surprised what people might spit out right at the end.
He steps back with the whip and coils it up and gives this guy a big lash. And he cries out and his eyes go wide. He's like, oh! Just had my fish. Had my fish. Good day on the lake. And Luvash doesn't even seem to care as he lashes him again and again. And you guys can all hear this whipping continue inside the tent. Does anybody else stay besides Garrison?
Nazop's never going to pass up a good torture sesh.
Gretchen will not stay. No.
Yeah. Timothy's gonna leave. He's not.
Yeah,
not
Riles
in
is
this.
not there either.
All right. The rest of you guys leave, and Arabelle takes you guys out to a nearby wagon. And kind of just sits down on like the front of it, like the little stoop in the front. Kind of gives a little bit of a sigh and a little bit of a wince every time she hears the whip. But she looks to Jareth, and she says, "Did you just find the one card, or do you have a whole Taroka deck?"
Yes, I have a deck, and my friend has a deck. We've occasionally pulled cards, but this is the first time I had pulled without someone who knew what the card meant.
But you drew it yourself.
Yes.
Do you know how the decks work? Has someone instructed you at all?
Madam Eva showed us a little bit, and another Vistani showed a little bit.
But you don't really know them.
No. I've just kind of spent time in evenings shuffling it, making it mine.
Right. Well, the shepherd, and she kind of holds out her hand for the card. It stands for those that protect others. They bear a burden that to look after a flock, in a way. It's all about sheep and those that guard them from the wolves. Do you hand the card to her?
Mm-hmm.
She takes it in her hand. She suddenly like sits up a little bit straighter, and she looks at you. She says, "When you drew this card, which way was it facing?"
I sure hope you wrote that down because I don't remember.
You don't remember. You don't remember.
No.
She says these cards can all have multiple meanings, and if they are drawn inverted, it has a different meaning, and that would be the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Why are y'all staring at me?
Nazad, you're inside watching this guy getting whipped to death.
Oh yeah, that's right. I stayed inside.
But we all do look over towards you.
But we also do look over to Garrison as well too.
Give me an intelligence check.
That's just straight up intelligence.
Yeah, just roll your intelligence. Yeah, you don't remember. I mean, you pulled the card out, you looked at it, and you didn't know that there was any like difference between how it was drawn. But she shows you that there's the shepherd like with his head up. That would be like the regular reading on this, and if it was drawn with like the head down, that would mean a different meaning. It would be a warning the flock is in danger, that there could be something amongst the flock that is the threat.
Oh, great.
Literally the wolf in sheep's clothing, and she thinks after touching this card that it may have been inverted, but she doesn't know because you can't remember.
Can somebody ask her about her dream?
Right, emergency meeting. Timothy sus.
So meanwhile, inside, this guy is not giving up, and this guy is not asking any questions. The other brother, Aragal, at one point says, kind of gives him a warning, kind of like he just says a name. He says the Vash, as if like kind of a little concerned that this guy is going to take this too far. Garrison and Nazoth, it's starting to look to you like this guy, he might just whip him until he dies.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah, how much health points would you say this guy has?
None right now.
Adam.
Ooh, great idea. Heal himself.
What is-
Live
Probably
longer.
like 5.
What's his pool? Would you say it's 5?
His pool is probably like commoner level, like 5, maybe at the most.
All right. Garrison steps up, does 5 points of lay on hands, and then steps back. Says, "Carry on."
The Vosh turns and
Attaboy,
looks your
Garrison.
direction and looks at the guy again. And then he looks over his brother, and his brother gives a little bit of a shrug and says, "It's a healer." And the Vosh just chuckles, says, "Good, prolong it." And he whips him again. Not enough whippings in the world for this one. Would harm my daughter. And Bluto, by the way, is like nothing the whole time. At one point, he mumbles something about fish, but he just seems totally out of it.
Any creature that would do something like that to your daughter is disgusting, or any other young kid. It's beings like that that make worlds like this exactly the way it is.
If Livash is listening to you, he doesn't say anything. But from across the way, you see Aragorn kind of watching you, brother.
And you know, I'm all for a good whipping, especially if it results in a death. But what is would it not be prudent to figure out why he did this? I mean, it was very weird. He like just tossed her over and completely ignored us, even when we took him in.
Livash says, "Who knows why some people do anything? All I know is that he'll never do it again."
Well, that's for damn sure. All right, I'm gonna go see what's going on outside.
I'm with you, Nez. Well, best of luck, you two, and maybe we see each other in better circumstances. There's a party in town if you're gonna come.
As you guys head outside, the other brother, Aragorn, follows you, leaving Livash to finish this guy off. As you step outside the tent with him, he says, "Due to our word, you are owed a reward, if you wish to claim it."
Well, your people seem to be the only ones that can leave this place. How do you do it?
He kind of gives a little bit of a sigh, and he says, "To come at a different time, I would have offered you potions. But, in truth, those potions will not get you beyond the mists. There is no escape for you. Not without permission from the Lord. And he gives permission to no one, except, well, to us.
Why you?
It is said that our people did a great favor for him once. Saved him from death after a battle. And ever since, well, he has been protective of us."
And what's with this whole game? What's with getting us caught into the mist and brought here? Why does it seem like there's been others like us before?
Because there have. Your kind, they do not last long in this world. I do not know why you're brought here. I do not know if it is just another curse on this land, or a trap, perhaps. If you are bold enough, you could go to the Lord and you could ask him. But some people never return. They do so.
You don't think it's him that brought us here? You think it's something else?
I don't know.
All right. Well, what is it that you can give us then? I do appreciate this information. This honesty is what we're looking for. And I hate to say that we're going to prove you wrong, but we're going to get out of here. We even have a crazy plan that might work, and it all involves a beautiful dress.
He stops for a moment and he looks back. Dress. Plan. Tell me more. As he moves over to this wagon here, and he says, and kind of gestures for you to follow.
It's a bit of a secret right now. I can't let all our inside scoop out, but if this place changes, you'll know why. It'll be because of these outsiders. He kind of gestures over to him.
So you didn't really tell him anything. You think that
Yeah.
that this will solve your problems, whatever it is? Doesn't really sound like you have a plan. Sounds like you are wishing with a prayer.
Kind of flying by the seat of our pants. But if it works, I don't know. I don't know what else gets us
Planning
out.
is the first step towards failing. We're winging it.
There we go. Yeah, it's not like we can become Vistani. So the only way to get out of here is make your lord happy. I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to go there. Everybody always says you don't come back.
Or kill him, whichever works.
But even that, let's just say we do kill that guy, which we're not going to
That's not
do.
entirely
right?
true. There have been visitors, but they have had invitations. The Lord, if he invites someone to his castle, then they have, well, it's assumed that they are protected.
Well, that's another great piece of information. But even if, Naz, hypothetically, you do take him out, how do we get out of here? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the only way out is with his permission, we might have to make this guy happy, not angry.
Aragol's not saying anything about that, but he is listening. But he's also working at a couple of locks that are on this particular the caravan wagon. He's undone 2 of them, and then he slips this like a couple of keys back in a pocket and opens the door. Inside, there are chests in here and cabinets, little jewelry boxes. You even see like a wooden throne in the far back that is inlaid with gold and decorative stones. Some rugs in here as well. It looks like this place has been packed with what you're guessing are treasures. And Aragol says, since you brought back Arabella in one piece, and the Vash has ordered it so, you can take one thing from our hoard.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't do much in the actual rescuing. I was on the other boat, so I'll have to talk to my friends about what they might want. What is in there? Don't show Nazoth that seat, or we're not even going to be able to look at anything else.
Nazoth, you peek inside?
Yeah.
You see the same things thrown in the back. What was that question again, Garrison?
Like, what are they offering? Essentially, you know what I mean?
I'll give you a list. He goes over to a chest, a wooden chest, and he kicks open the top, and it's filled with electrum. Moves over to a smaller iron chest. Kicks open
Electrum,
the
the
top of
most
that.
valuable of D&D currency.
Kicks open that, and then there's it is filled with gold. He opens a jewelry box, which is by itself worth quite a bit. It's got gold filigree on it, and contains 6 pieces of jewelry, and what appears to be a crystal vial with some sort of liquid in it. He also gestures to the wooden throne, which is inlaid with decorative stones. He moves over to a rug that is kind of rolled up, and he takes that and kind of spreads it out over like a table, and you can see that it's got like a sort of unicorn and a unicorn on the front, like a design on it that I can't really explain other than the fact that it looks like it's worth a lot, like very intricate designs around a unicorn. The last thing is a small wooden box, but he puts his hand on that and says, except for this one. This one you do not want.
And that's the one I want.
Yeah, why do you make me want that so much? What is it?
This is only filled with false hope.
And?
That is it. He opens the lid, and it looks like there are 12 gourds in there with little like cork stoppers in them.
yeah, we definitely got to find the smart people. I mean,
So
Nat's
nothing
responsible.
magical.
Maybe it's all magical. I don't know. I couldn't tell you if it was or not.
You're not sure. Do you have detect magic?
Nope.
Well, maybe somebody else in your group does. Meanwhile, as you guys are looking at this, Bimothy's there, isn't he?
No, no. I was
Bimothy went
outside.
over with. Well, they
I was
came
outside.
outside and passed you, or were
Oh.
you over with Gretchen? And
No, I was with Gretchen, but I was joking about who has detect magic.
Ah, okay.
Mhm.
Bimini
So-
does not have detect magic.
Yes, he
So-
does. He can do
Does it
whatever he
really?
wants. No, I'm a barbarian.
I don't
Oh.
know. There could be weird things sometimes.
Are we
Yeah.
done with Arabelle?
I don't know. Are you?
I mean,
She's giving
I
you her
can't
reading on the
remember.
card. He has warned you that she thinks that this means is a bad omen and not a good one.
I do want to ask her about the dream that she had, but I'm not there. So
Well, you might have time before you leave this place. They have not kicked you out yet, and you have treasures to choose from. If you want to involve the others in the group, you can call them over and have them take a look and see what you think is best.
hey, you guys.
Yeah,
Uh,
honestly, the first chest seems the best.
Wooden
But
chest
what
with
about-
electrum,
Yeah.
What
iron,
about
Electrum.
iron chest with gold,
we could wear jewelry, guys. I don't even have hands. I could
jewelry
make
box
any
Is
ring.
electric
with
worth more than
jewelry,
gold?
I want
No.
to take.
and a vial. There's a crystal vial that's also in the jewelry box. The whole
Electrum
jewelry box
is
Can I do
Uh,
identify on that?
Silver
Okay.
gold, right?
Well, I vote
no,
for the
it's
mystery box.
it's copper, silver, electrum, gold.
two
Yeah,
electrum. Two electrum is one gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Each one of the coins, by the way, the electrum coins, is stamped with the profile of a man, and I don't think you've
So
seen
it's-
this image before,
So
but
it's half a
they are
gold-
minted. Huh? What's that?
It's half a
Oh,
gold
hang
piece
on.
and
Yeah.
or 5 silver pieces.
It's more. If you take the second chest, you get more gold. Like the value is more
Why?
because it's 2 to 1. So 1,200 divided by 2 is 600 gold, and the other chest is 650. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm.
So the gold is worth more.
Yes. So yeah. So first chest roughly, let's say that's 600 gold. Second chest 650 gold. Third chest 400 gold.
And really
Fourth
cool
chest
crystal.
750.
Yeah, but there's really cool crystal in one of them.
Yeah.
And
So I would say either if we just gold or the jewelry box, one of those two.
I want the false hope though.
Heck no.
Well, do any of you know what this actually is in here? And if you, where's my smart magic people? Come here. Gretchen. Riles,
What is it?
what are you good for, Riles? Can you do this?
Do it.
I don't know what's in these things. I feel like we're playing mystery games. These are our rewards. These are things that have a cool name but are worth half a gold.
I don't know much about antiques. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it magical?
Oh, I don't have that prepared.
Damn it.
I can come back
Argyle,
tomorrow.
Argyle, could we just be honest here between you and
Does Riles?
I have identify. Does that work for anything?
But you don't have detect magic,
I don't have detect
so
magic.
you'd be sort of guessing at items.
I could do
You
like
grab
an arcana
something
check,
and use
right?
it.
But-
perfect?
Yeah, you can give me an arcana check, and I'll give you, if you roll
You can
well
do
enough, I can
arcana.
tell you if you think something is magical.
I can help you
Nope,
with the
never
arcana.
mind.
I'll roll. Okay.
Okay, great.
I'll do an arcana.
And I am trained in
Ah.
arcana.
The only thing in here that looks like it might be magical is the crystal vial with liquid in it. There's like you kind of hold it up, and there's a tiny bit of a glow to it.
I think this is magical, but I don't know what it would do.
Riles, risk it. What is it, buddy?
For identify?
You want to try to identify it?
Yeah.
All right, cast the spell. You hold this thing, and you look at it, and information comes to your mind. It tells you that this, although it looks and smells like a potion of healing, it is not. This is actually like a potion that somebody screwed up on. And in fact, it poisons the person that drinks it. I'll give you the link to it.
Riles does like a Norm Macdonald impersonation. He's like, you know how this is like a potion of healing? It's more like a
It heals you for
potion of
negative damage.
kill. Yeah.
It's a potion of killing. A potion of killing.
Yeah.
I don't think we need that.
Well, it could be a good maybe if we want to like screw up some robbers or something. But no, we don't want it.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah,
Just
my-
get the gold.
What
yeah, my
kind
last
of
second chest.
poison is?
I didn't get that far in poison school.
Ah, all right.
There's such a thing as poison school.
I think so, actually. Do I have a poison kit? I don't think this character has a poison kit.
Right after he dropped out of clown college.
I'll fucking show those kids.
Leave those baby clowns alone.
So do you want to take the actually everybody give me a history check.
Come on, another nat 20 history
Because
check.
you know how much gold an
Oh,
electrum
shit.
is worth.
Nice.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Bim.
You know how much gold an electrum is worth, but you're not really sure about these other things. But Gretchen and Jareth realize that the gold, while it is valuable, that throne might actually be worth more if you can find somebody to sell it to. Same thing with the rug. But it would require finding somebody and convincing them to basically trade with you. So while they might be worth maybe 100 more gold than like the gold itself, you'd be dragging around this thing with you, either a throne or a rug.
I haven't decided if I want to bother telling Garrison that. I think the best bet is just to get the gold.
Yeah, chest number 2, the iron chest.
We're staying liquid.
Still a queen.
Because if I
we don't
tell
want-
Garrison that, he's going to be like, oh, we'll totally find someone to sell this giant chair to.
Right.
We'll just lug it around for...
We'll use it as a saddle for the next time he turns into a big snake.
Yeah, I'm going to keep that.
All
to
right,
myself.
so now somebody's going to be doing guy on throne on
Yeah.
snake in town.
No, I'm just going to keep that to myself.
We just add one thing. We should just add something to that every week. Dragging body, riding throne,
So,
casting lightning bolt, summoning undead, town on fire.
oh my
With-
god. There's
with-
so many possibilities.
With high riz.
Yeah,
So much
with
riz.
high riz, with a lot of riz. All right, so he closes the iron chest and lifts it up and hands it to you. This is yours then. Spend it well, if you can find some place to spend it.
Yeah, guys, what are we gonna do with all this money?
Well, let's.
Does
split
your
it up
lord
6
like
ways.
money? Can we buy our way out?
No, you cannot.
All right, worth asking.
So this
Yeah.
dress that you mentioned, how is this going to get you? How is this going to free you from this place?
Well, we're gonna try to
Good
turn his
question.
frown upside down. The plan is to bring love into his life, get him married, and he'll be so infatuated with his new bride and love that the terrible sadness and darkness will lift from this place, and we'll be able to get out of here. It's a
He
little bit
looks-
more than that, but that's like the cliff notes.
He looks over at Gretchen. Is the dress for her?
No.
Well, it could be, depending on if she wants
I
it
am
afterwards,
not-
But
I am not marrying any...
no, I'm just
Not
saying if you
marrying a
want it
Dark Lord?
afterwards.
Nope, Dark Lords.
So the dress will not be used for Gretchen at the time that we need it. But just as it has been used once by someone before, Gretchen could use it if she ever wanted to. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my word.
Or maybe
Gretchen
your
face
daughter.
palms a little bit.
Does your daughter need a dress? She needs to continue your family line. We've heard some
You-
story.
You know,
My
there are
daughter.
other
You mean my
dresses.
brother's daughter?
Yeah, your niece. This the whole family story is so sad that maybe she needs to eventually find a husband, and maybe she wants a dress.
She will, but she will find one amongst our people somewhere. Perhaps in one of the other,
This is
in
the
one of the other
finest dress.
caravans.
No, this is the finest dress in all of the lands.
We don't actually know that.
He,
Mm,
you can tell that Aragol
Um,
thinks that you guys are probably insane. He's kind of
Just
like,
so I know what's
he's like,
appropriate to
all
joke
right,
about, how
okay,
old
I'm
is
just
this?
gonna lock this caravan up.
Just so I know what's appropriate to joke about, how old is this girl?
She's probably like 16.
Oh,
15 maybe.
there you
Okay.
go.
I lied.
Borderline inappropriate. There you go.
At what
Just make
age
it
would it be
inappropriate.
inappropriate? How low do I need to go for you guys to say that's inappropriate? I think
It's
kind of
inappropriate.
Inappropriate in most of the civilized world.
Mhm. She's not
Appropriate in the
over
Middle East and Japan.
Unless you're like in Tennessee and it's your sister.
Oh, Jesus.
The whipping sounds have stopped from the main tent. It's kind of somewhat quiet now. Aragol kind of looks that way as he turns the key in the last of the locks on this caravan. There were two, by the way. He had to open two different locks to get inside this thing. Pockets the keys again and says, well, then unless we have any other business to today, I think our time here is done.
I got a whole bunch of questions for you, man, but I don't want to waste all your time.
What sort of questions do you have?
Why do you guys guard the people in the houses? Why do you live here? You know, things like that. Do they want to come out? You want to hear my tiger analogy?
Sure.
All right. Well, met a friend that was a tiger, and he lived in the city, but he was in a cage, and I feel like he really wanted to get out, but nobody let him out, and now I feel like he's sad. He didn't even have a name. But maybe he wanted to be out. And what about the guys in there? How come they're not allowed out?
Well, they're allowed out. Right now, they are out searching for Arabelle. You won't find any except for their elder here at the moment. He is, well, the oldest of them all, and we keep him on a short leash. A long time ago, their people, they challenged the Lord. They challenged Strahd. And this is their punishment.
What do you mean challenged?
It is a bit of a long story, but if you've got time, I can tell it to you.
Ooh, well, it depends. I have like a thing tonight that I got to take care of. A friend of mine's coming to town, which is another question I have. How do you feel about bards? This whole place has bards. One bard that really seems to be infatuated with your people. Another bard with 12 fingers. He's a dick. I'm looking for the second one, but the first one's kind of important too.
Huh. He kind of smiles and says, I know who you're looking for. He is not here, not in this camp. He is even an outsider amongst our own people. Has he caused you trouble?
And he kind of gestures his stubs. He's like, he's bringing me something that he owes me. But I wanted to catch him before he got into town. So as long as I can get there before then, I've got time.
Even if I knew where he was, I couldn't tell you. He is still one of our folk.
Oh, I'm not asking. I'm just saying. I gotta be outside the gates before he gets there, and it's getting pretty late.
It's very late. Maybe you should be going then.
But what about the story?
Oh, you still have time for it then?
I don't know. This is what we were talking about. How long is it gonna take?
Not too long.
All right, hey Bim, you want to hear the story?
Sure.
All right. Well, he doesn't want to yell, so come on over.
Long ago, a few hundred years, one of, well, Strahd took one of the Pallid Elves as a bride. She was from this encampment. She lived here. But all did not go well in their marriage. And he begins to tell you a little bit of a story about actually he calls them dusk elves that live here, or pallet elves. They are whatever land they originally came from, he doesn't know, doesn't remember. He tells you that shortly after the death of Strahd's first wife, and he says first wife and sort of like, he doesn't really say it like, air quotes and hold his fingers up, but you feel like he's saying something about that as well. He doesn't mention who that is. He doesn't say anything about it, but like there's a story there as well, and he's not telling it. He says that there was a dusk elf here named Petrina, and she pursued Strahd, was always interested in him. But the other elves here, they did not feel the same way. They thought that she was a fool for pursuing the Lord of the Land. And so her fellow elves stoned her right here at the top of this hill. But that was not the end of her. She rose in undeath as a banshee and, well, haunted her folk for some time. And in the end, well, Strahd punished these people. They destroyed her in this ghostly form, I believe, or drove her off. I'm not sure. There's rumors that her soul still haunts the hallways of Castle Ravenloft, but I've not been there to see that with my own eyes.
Even though
But she was the last of the women of the Dusk Elves of Barovia. The rest were slain, and only the men were left. And they had no way to continue their lines, and so they wait out the rest of their long lives here, in these houses, under our watch. This is their punishment.
So even though it was his ex, he still took punishment upon those that abused her?
Indeed.
So he must have still cared for her.
In his own way, I suppose. Some of them believe that he loved Petrina, but I don't know if that's the truth or not. She may have just been a plaything to him. Or maybe he didn't like the idea that they could steal punishment and justice from his own hand. This happened long before my time, so the intricacies of why and how, some of those have been lost. But the end result is that they have been punished. We are their watchers. And this name still resides on the lips of some of these dusk elves, spoken with fear. Some of them believe that Petrina will come back for them someday. And maybe she will. If they're lucky.
I feel like I would rather her take me than just be stuck in that hut for the rest of my eternal life.
He just kind of shrugs.
Man, this place is crazy. How is this guy ever going to be happy? It's just not an ever-ending sad stories around here.
This is a land of sad stories.
Even for you, like, what is your guys' plan now that you've lost your elders and your brother's lost his wife? Clearly he's dealing with it in harsh ways.
He looks over towards the girl, towards Arabelle, and he says, "One day she will be the elder here, and things will be set right. And for now, we suffer until that time." But don't you worry. Lavash, he will protect her with everything, and so will I.
All right. Well, I just don't know. It just doesn't seem right. You know, like we've met other Vistani that things aren't as doom and gloom. I understand that you have a charge here, but maybe there's a possibility to change before she has to be the one that makes it.
This place has been like this for hundreds of years. You think anything's going to change?
Not with that attitude.
Well, life for us is not the same as it is for the rest of you. We can still go on vacation.
Right, you can leave. We can't. We're in a worse predicament than you are currently. Trying to find a way out. We're trying to make this place better because that seems to be the only way out of here. It seems to all circle around this drain of everyone being down and gloom.
He seems a little thoughtful at that, but he doesn't say anything.
Of years.
At least we got gold, guys.
That should make you happy.
Yeah.
Go. Throw it on the bed somewhere. Bathe in it. Enjoy life for a little bit. Well, you can.
Guess he's right. What else do we have to do? Is it too far to get back to town?
No. Let me look at that map real quick. It's only like a quarter mile.
Right, and it's like this is a pretty well-traveled path that goes right to a main gate.
Yeah. I mean, what is this?
It's probably not lit. But
it's a
not
half
far.
a mile. What, 2,700 feet? It's like a half mile.
Okay. If you guys are done here, I mean, Garrison's happy to pack up and pack out. The only thing left is he did want to talk to the daughter last time to just ask about the dream, but I was kind of hoping anybody could do that so you could talk to her.
You can talk to her if you wish. You go over. We'll say the last thing you do is you head over and you ask her about her dream. She, you know what? Since we're here at the end of this session, you go over and rather than give you the dream and then if you forget it by next week, let's begin next week with the dream. As you sit down with her, she'll say, well, no one really asks me about my dreams because they sometimes worry about what they mean. And I'm not sure what this one meant at all. But I saw something. I saw people. And I saw Casimir. And you ask, well, who's Casimir? And she says, he's the leader of the Dusk Elves. And she points down the hill to the south and says, that's his hovel right there. And that, I think, is a good spot to kind of hold off. She'll tell you the rest of that dream next week.
Nice.
Should we?
There's like so many through plots in this. Like, my brain hurts. Like we
There's
still
a
have to figure out.
million things going
That's
on.
what I mean.
There's
There's
so
the
much.
crystals. There's the druids. There's Baba Yaga. There's the werewolves. There's these people. There's you know what I mean. And I'm like, ugh, like.
Give me those fingers.
Get them hands.
I got a hunger. I want it, and I'm only happy if I have fingers.
Oh man, I love this.
Put up
This
a
is like
cache?
a cool. Yeah, or
Great.
party flavor it. Like I don't know what we'll really have access to in truth, Jareth. You know what I mean? So like,
Or what?
if we could,
Well,
like,
we
just
have the
money,
chest of
you know.
650 gold. If we split
Uh-huh.
that 6 ways, it's roughly 108 each.
But is it
You can
more worth it to trade 100 or 650 gold, right, to someone for a piece of something that might be a family heirloom or something. You know what I mean? Like that's the only reason I was like, does it?
I
Because
mean,
like, what are we gonna?
you guys are not really keeping track of party treasure, so you may as well split it up. And if you need to pool your resources later on, you can always do that.
Fair enough.
All right.
Because I don't think anybody's really adding anything into the
I've been
to party
trying.
treasure.
We haven't been getting a lot of treasure, have we?
No,
No.
not really.
Yeah, I think it's.
This is the
currently
biggest
updated.
haul you've gotten.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of hoping for a magical item or something.
Because
Right.
I updated it after I sold off the stuff to the Burgermeister.
Mhm.
Right, and we could have gotten the dress for 100, but Jared gave it for 200.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We lost our so we lost our profit there. Like,
Yeah, because he
yeah,
gave us he gave us our payment and the
it was dress purchase plus we got whatever was left over. You
Right.
know, like,
yeah.
and we just got nothing
You
left
just
over.
gave the whole thing.
Yeah, let me know if this is right. So, deed to the house and the signed will is in my bag. The deed to the windmill is with Naz. And then we have 11 gold pieces and 60 silver in a pouch made of human skin. And we have
Yummy.
3 moss agates worth 10 gold pieces each. A
Agate.
black leather eye patch with a chameleon worth 50 gold sewn into it. An
It's not an eye
ivory
patch, it's a
hairbrush
thong.
with silver
Carnelian.
bristles worth 25. A silvered short sword worth 110 Riles has. 3 blank spell books with black leather covers worth 25. 3 spell scrolls, blast protection from poison and spiritual weapon. A folded fine noble's cloak Riles has. Small wooden coffer, a chain shirt, a mess kit. 2 flasks of alchemist fire, a bullseye lantern, set of thieves' tools, a spell book with a yellow leather cover, longsword Bimothy has, leather writing kit, and wooden durst seal I have. Book history Barovia I have. Bimothy's got the deck of fancy cards, and then finally 2 gemstones worth 50 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Damn,
Okay,
Jared,
and
can you
then-
take notes from my class?
It's in the. That's actually all over in party treasure, like on the.
I've just copied and pasted what Ross has been giving me and removing as needed. So, and then we have the 650, which we're just gonna divide up for now.
How much is that a piece?
108.
108.
108?
Point blah blah blah. Yeah. Um.
108 gold pieces. That's what the divvies are for on the right hand side. I just put a date and how much was sent out, and if somebody says, "Wait, did we have gold?" You can actually look.
Wow, Bimothy has money. That's the first.
I kind of want to divvy up the last thing before we go. The 11 gold pieces in silver. That's just in a pouch made
You
of human
take it
skin.
for great note taking.
I already have 746 pieces of gold. Somebody else needs it. Because remember, I found stuff at Durst Manor that nobody else did, which meant I could sell it for me alone.
Well, now you got 11. Now you got 11
Eat
more gold.
the bag of human skin. I mean, that
Fine.
doesn't add any value.
Kind of does.
So 60 silver pieces and 11 gold is mine then?
Yes, you're rich.
Uh, 11 gold and 60 silver.
Sweet, awesome. Rob, thank you so much for a great game. Everyone, thank you for dealing with my lateness for the last 2 days.
No worries.
How fucking dare you?
I know.
Are we sticking to the 5 PST going forward?
Or
No,
record
we're
back?
gonna go back to the regular.
Yeah,
schedule, I think,
back
next
to the
week.
way it
Cool.
was next week.
Excellent.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. You
Thank
guys have
you.
a great night, good week, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy,
Yeah.
everyone.
Later, guys.
See you guys
Peace.
later.
Bye.
Bye.